It's the Cats and the Hawks, the winner into Grand Final 2013. And with the first bounce, here's Anthony Miffin on K-Rock Football.
And we are ready to rock as Bailey goes up against Vardy. We have to do it all again because the umpire mucked it up. He got the pre-game jitter nerves as Vardy goes up a second time. He slaps it down, and underneath it, Sewell, look out. Yeah, he absolutely hatched that one. Stevie J, he's going to get the first clearance. He thinks about giving it off to Hunt, and then he swings one wide. They've all run forward. Lonigan's there with the football. He's making Buddy run early. Oh, the handball missed the mark. It looked a slippery sort of ball. Not sure that it was. Jordan Lewis stands up at half-back, gathers the foot. He gives to Birchall. Now Buddy's got it. Look out. Tackle from behind. He gives it away to Bailey, who slams it on the boot, gets it out to the wing. Bouncing ball picked up by the Hawks. Round the corner, Smith. He just goes for distance and tries to get at the boundary. Guthrie was onto him. He gathers the football, and it's a frenetic start here at the MCG. Josh Hunt with the ball. He takes a mark, squares it up, goes sideways. Stevie J in some space, takes a mark, and I can take a breath, and Tom King can pick up the call.
Johnson into the middle of the MCG, but he left it short of Murdoch, and Rioli's marked. We'll get some Wombat Gully Plant Farm matchups in a moment from Neildy and Bluey. He goes short to Lewis, and now we get a little bit of a slowdown in play. Lewis surveys what's in front of him, about 33 players clogging the area up as he kicks now inside 50, just sets it up. Cats with numbers in front. Johnson takes the mark comfortably in front of Bruce, uncontested. And he can send it wide to Podsy Adley, who'll mark on the numerals at left half-back. Will look short to either Motlop or go longer still to Selwood, but he'll put it out on the full, and an opportune time to maybe get some matchups. What have we got, gentlemen?
Boys, we've got Lonigan. He's gone to Franklin. Taylor's gone to Roughhead, and Guthrie not to Rioli at this stage. He's got Bruce.
Burgoyne with the free kick on the outer side, just forward of the wing. Going to have Mark Neald and Tim McGrath here. He'll take on Selwood on the mark and get around him, and runs away and kicks short for Franklin to mark at right half forward. That's 70 from goal. Swings onto his left and hits up Hale. Hale marks 52, and then he'll go short, and Gunston unmarked has marked at 48, and Cam Guthrie is looking around for somebody to have been stepping up.
Yeah, he's been really disappointed there with Nathan Vardy. Vardy's playing on Hale. Hale led up as the hit-up target, and then he turned around, and instead of actually blocking the space, Vardy's turned his back on the play, went to go back to the goal square, and a really easy mark here for Gunston.
Outstanding mark, Neil. Jack Gunston kicked 3 goals, one last week or a fortnight ago in the qualifying final. Will kick from 51. Anthony Miffin said great kick, and that's what it was, and the Hawks draw first blood in the prelim. Jack Gunston with a goal, the Hawks with a goal, and they lead 1 straight 6. Geelong yet to score. 2 3/4 minutes gone. First quarter, Heath Buck downstairs.
Yeah, total tours North Geelong. Brad saw in that first contest when he actually dislocated a finger. He did come from the ground. He's just about to come back on now. Looks to be okay.
Just interesting that with that Nathan Vardy, that it was like he initially, my blokes beat me on the lead, and he just stopped and guarded grass. And in this day and age, the skills, I mean, Hale went back off 1 step. If anyone shouldn't be able to do it, it was the ruckman, but it was a fantastic kick from Hale to spot up Gunston.
Yeah, it certainly was. And look, Vardy's a young player, especially finals time. 1 mistake can't be 2.
Yeah.
So Bailey to go out against Vardy again. This is a better bounce of the ball. I reckon Bailey a bit lucky not to give away a shepherding free kick. It's Lonigan coming off the line, getting another clearance, but this one falls on the chest of Hodge, who drops the mark, should have taken. Guthrie the same as Hodge went further afield. Free kick advantage goes to Christensen. Christensen to the pocket. The mark taken by Big Brian Lake. Out of position there, Hawkins. Not a great kick from Bundy as sideways kick finds Guira. Kelly was a little late, but only incidental contact. Guira tried to make the most of it to get the 50, but nothing doing from the umpire. Guira out of the back pocket. Just a well-weighted nice kick for Stratton, who takes the mark beyond defensive 50. One's jarred free on the wing, it's Sewell. So Sewell with the ball, just backwards of the logo. Slow and steady come those Hawks, and Geelong guarding that grass up through the corridor, Mark Neald.
They certainly are, Anthony. They'll be aware that Hawthorn, not a high handballing side. They like to keep possession by kicking it. Here we go through the middle from... Oh, no, he's gone out wide, Guira.
Yeah, Guira they went backwards to Guira, and that releases Smith on the fat side. He pokes one over the top to Burgoyne, and the kicking skills sublime from the Hawks. He goes up through the midfield now, and here's Gibson. So the catch coaching staff won't like that. They pierce one out wide to Sewell, and now Sewell wants to handball over the top to Mitchell, but it's mucked up. Mackey came off his man, just toe-poked it out to Varco, who paddled it back to Mackey. Touch of the fumbles from him. Oh, well done, Mitchell. Went backwards to Guerra, and now Guerra kicks forward to Cyril.
Who marks, left half forward in front of Corey, goes laterally and finds Hill. Hill now, about 70 from goal, with the footy. Left half forward, going to the punt road end. Lowers the eyes. Oh, well done, Mitch Duncan. Put his body on the line. Crunch. As coming the other way was Roughhead. Ball under the pack now. Umpire calling for it to come out. We'll get a ball up. Duncan and Roughhead still down.
Yeah, they are. What Geelong have done, they're actually playing with 7 defenders, so Duncan's the extra defender. That's his job, to get in the road of the big fellas. He's earned that one, but it's just a concern when Hawthorn are going to bring the ball out of their own half-back line with the extra player very easily.
Blitzarves a tap down. Taylor, an All-Australian, gave it to Stokes, who kicks to half-back, wants Varco in a one-on-one with Lewis. Couldn't mark Varco with the one hand. Duncan, who was coming off the ground with the trainers, had to give another contest and then managed to cannon into Lewis. Ball on the wing with Guerra, who decided to don't argue on Steve Johnson, and a step back out of bounds, and a boundary throw in as Hodge. And Johnson get caught up in a tangle as Hodge wants to come off the ground.
Catch disposal efficiency, which has been an issue throughout the finals, they are at 46%.
Vardy, third man up from behind, but the ball came to the front to Johnson. Tried to free the arms. Lewis, a great tackle, and the umpire's pinged him too, as Stokes wants to decamp from the sea. Better give it back, or he'll get pinged for 50. Shields holds him up, and Lewis as Johnson. Maybe first option there, Mark Neal.
Yes, he probably could have got the ball on the boot, but that's Hawthorn are playing with the extra defender, and the Cats have made that, so that's why Steve Johnson wouldn't have just wanted to kick that.
Gibson shares it with Burgoyne across the back edge of the centre square, and then short along the outer edge of the square to Hill. On true centre wing on the outer logo, Hill dancing on the spot, not really sure where to go, so he comes from one logo to the other, where he'll find the yeah man in Guerra. Guerra will go short to the point of the square at left half forward to Puopolo, who hit the ground running, goes with a low ball, not great for Rioli, but he's too quick for Guthrie. Quick hands off, gave it to Bruce. Bruce was held maybe without it. Rioli comes again, but picking it up, Mackie just bangs it on the boot, wants the boundary, finds it, and will get a boundary throw in. But the Hawks' pressure at the moment, Neildy, too much for the Cats.
Yeah, it is quite good, but I'm just interested. Geelong have actually changed up the way they're playing it. They're normally, with their defence, Bluey, they're right in your face. Today they're sort of rolling back and allowing the Hawks to get the ball to their own half forward.
And they've held on pretty well through the middle of the ground there.
Throw in half forward for the Hawks as they're doing all the attacking, looking the dangerous side. It was spiked by Smith down to Hale. Hale snap inside 50, bouncing ball to space, but it bounces and clears and bobbles the wrong way for Hawk fans and the right way for Geelong fans, and goes through for a bouncing point off the boot of Hale. So 7.5 minutes gone. It's Hawthorn 1-1-7. Geelong yet to score.
Kick out by Mackie. He went looking for Corey. Sewell got in the way and has now been pinged for holding the footy. Bartel laying the tackle. You heard the owls in the background, and that was because the kick for Corey did him no favours. Bartel now for Corey, who marks almost against the boundary line out of side. Chips one over the top, and Stokes will mark in front of the old players' race, southern stand side of the ground. Standing to mark Birchall. Stokes, he has mishit the kick. Fortunately, it landed near Varco, who was able to spin out of a tackle, sell some candy on Puopolo, but was dragged as he kicked, got it inside 50. Motlop on the bounce, shared it with Blitzarves. Blitzarves by hand. Christensen's kick was beautifully smothered and seen to the boundary line. That was well played by Isaac Smith. And we'll get a boundary throw in. About 20 around from the left-hand behind post. Heath Bucks downstairs.
Yeah, just Mitch Duncan, King, he did come from the ground, had a concussion test, is back on the ground as we speak.
Good news there as Christensen does some roving here. He might have got one high. He played for it. Got one in the back as well. Now he's going to be binged on the ball. Well, he had no prior opportunity. He was at the front of the pack, front and square. The tackler came straight away. No prior. He was tackled into the midriff of Smith, who got him high. Anyway, Guerra's kick, he's got on with it, gone down the middle, it's been spiked away, taken by Josh Hunt. Little deft handball was good to Bartel, back inside 50, but Gibson will mop it up. And they had numbers everywhere there, the Hawks. He takes a mark inside defensive 50. He swings a kick out to Lake. Lake to Mitchell. Mitchell down the line, not intended for Burgoyne. Didn't go to 15, but the mark paid anyway. Handball straight back to Mitchell. Mitchell to Hill. Hill's run into all sorts of trouble. Oh, now he's called too high. He was just the meat and the sandwich umpire. I don't feel sorry for him because he weighs about 15 kilos less than every player out there, as Hill wants to go on with it with James Kelly, and now there might be 50. There is. High contact as the jumper punch came. So the Cats have just got to gather their thoughts here.
Cats can't hit the side of a barn, Mytho. They're running at less than 50%. Last week in the first half was as bad as a kicking I've seen from the Geelong side in probably 7 or 8 seasons. Same against the Dockers. They're just struggling. They're their own worst enemy at the minute.
Bluey, what'd you see on the tee box?
Oh, you couldn't really see too much. He might have got one in the neck.
Okay, so
Undisciplined.
Let it go.
kicked off to Birchall. Birchall kicks it over the top to Puopolo. And don't they just play the piggy in the middle so brilliantly, the Hawks? They spot a scenario whereby they've got more players than the opposition and just ring-a-ring-a-rosy they go until the option presents. Now Puopolo forced to pull the trigger and David Hale marks at the top of the square. Poor defensive effort, you'd have to say, as was it Blitzars or Vardy that tried to mark instead of icing it.
So that's the issue with Vardy, is that Hale can play forward. Vardy attempted, I don't know what he attempted to do, off 2 feet. He didn't even launch off one leg and get as high as he could to spoil. He didn't know how to. 2-foot takeoff.
He should have spoiled it.
Horrendous.
Blitzars left him to do the spoiling, but he made the bad mistake as Hales missed the kick. Well, there's a lucky let-off, because I don't know that Geelong can play much worse than they are at the moment in terms of their ball disposal and the way their defensive structures are working, but they only trail by 8 points. It's 8 points to 0, Benny.
Bunning stat sheet, Hawthorn Geelong have doubled the contested possession, but Hawthorn have had 22 more possessions.
Fist from Gibson, from the kick from Johnson, looking for Hunt. And then out of bounds on the full off the boot of a roughhead. And there'll be a free kick to the Cats at half-back for Selwood.
Guerra's already had 5 off half-back. Lewis has had 4. Burgoyne's had 4.
Cats just unable to find a way home at the moment. Selwood gets it over the outstretched arms of Roughhead to the wing logo that says Melbourne. Blitzarves, or Vardy gotten rid of. It was Vardy who hit the deck. Bartel's wrapped up in a tackle now. He's not coming out of that. And the umpire will ball it up.
Selwood's just had, that was his first kick of the game. Kelly hasn't touched the footy. Mitch Duncan yet to touch the footy.
The umpire quickly put it in the air. Vardy down to Blitzarves. Blitzarves didn't dispose of it correctly, but the umpire said play on. Trying to get out of there, Murdoch with a handball. Maybe taken high, a free kick for Blitzarves. Or is he being held without it? He'll take a free kick either way.
That's 50.
And the umpire said it was for being held, and
excuse me,
maybe even again, Bluey, as Hale got his hands in there.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the Hawthorn player threw it back and he hit it down to the ground.
Hit to Stokes at right half forward near the boundary line in front of the MCC members. Stokes now will want to send it inside forward 50. Looking for a fly from Hawkins or Podsiadly. In fact, Vardy brought it to ground to Johnson at the front. He's taken in a tackle and dumped. Ball's just spilling around under a handful of players. Umpire surely got to come and sort this one out.
Too high.
And there's a free kick for too high. Which way Cats is it? Don't argue. Or is there something on the ground that we may have missed under the pack going on? What did you see, Neildy?
Yeah,
Stevie J.
Stevie J has been annoying Jordan Lewis, and one of the because there's so many umpires out there, one of them was right onto it, and not too much in it, but Jordan Lewis just got him in.
That's horrific.
It was one of the worst headlocks you've ever seen, but it was an attempted one, and now Stevie Johnson's having a shot for goal.
We'll kick from a 45-degree angle. We've got 50 now.
50 for Jordan Lewis, just going down to the umpire and giving him a golf ball.
50!
50! Come for a walk down this way!
So Stevie J will kick the Cats first from the goal line, sends it into the second tier of the Ponsford stand, says to somebody in the corporates, mark this. And the Cats pull it back to 2. It's taken 13 minutes, but the Cats are finally on the board. They're 1 straight 6. Hawthorn 1-2-8. First quarter. Telstra Geelong CBD scoreboard.
Bluey, it just goes to show you, even a final, it's going to take time for everyone to settle. There's been 2 50-metre penalties given away by experienced campaigners, James Kelly and then Jordan Lewis. Undisciplined stuff, but it just goes to show finals, nerves, knockout, all those types of stuff. It will take time for the players to settle.
Bunning stat sheet, Stevie J's a leading possession of the Cats for 5. Bartel's made a difference since he's come on, just had the 3 possessions. Hawthorn have had 16 more touches. Cats running at just 53% disposal.
Do you reckon that's annoying, Ben, and his Geelong support? He's mentioned that 5 times in the last 2 minutes. It really, we'll just keep going. Just try. You got your Geelong support hat on, even though it's orange. Calm down. Let
that's
him
actually
be quiet.
You used to coach.
Yeah, well, I don't coach them anymore. I'm very glad that I don't.
Out of the middle, Hawthorn went off the ground, so too Josh Hunt, and kicks it 50 metres off the ground in the air, but marked by Gibson. He was in the best spot. He shanks the kick. Podsiadly takes the mark. Release someone. Kick it inside 50. There's players everywhere. He gets it to Motlop. Motlop in the pocket. Can poke a handball over the top, and another goal going up. Stevie J, guess who? Stephen Johnson kicks 2 in a row. And a Dennis Family Homes goal of the day. Interception, Podsiadly onto Motlop. Motlop, the presence of mind to handball over the top, and Stevie J from point blank kicks the goal. 14 and a half minutes gone, first quarter. Telstra, Geelong CBD, corner of Murrayville and Ryrie Street. Can you believe it? They've been outplayed everywhere, but the Cats lead 2 straight 12 to Hawthorn 1-2-8.
Did I mention that disposal efficiency, Neil?
Yeah, just give us another 30 seconds, Ben. That'd be gold. Bluey, that occasion, that's what Neil Barn was talking about pre-game. The Geelong ability to stop Hawthorn with the uncontested marks between the arc for forwards to be alert. Great turnover by Podsiadly.
That's great for Podsiadly to be aware, be in the right spot, just give them enough rope to hang themselves pretty much with that kick.
That's right, and outstanding kicking efficiency from the big pod too, putting it inside 50, Ben.
Duncan ran into trouble, gave it off to Guerra, unfortunately, who gave it then to Franklin. See him into the game now. Inside 50 he goes, looking down there for Bruce. He's wrapped up by Guthrie. Umpire said play on. Tried to shrug the tackle. Guthrie somehow stole the ball, got a kick away along the boundary line. Selwood with a little fist along the line, but maybe better to see it out. Hodge might have had a look as he went to go down and pick the footy up. He eventually did get up to Franklin, who's then dumped by Motlop and Blitzarves, and we'll get a boundary throw in, and there is Cam Guthrie's worth to this side once again.
Bluey, I want to see Kingy go down to Luke Hodge and say, I think you had a look.
That's all I said it from here.
That's gold. Oh, Kingy, he's going to kill you.
Tap down, Bailey. But am I wrong? Ruffy.
Yes.
Franklin to Mitchell. And then a kick basically for touch. Port territory about 30 metres. We'll get a boundary thrown in the left forward pocket.
Wombat Gully, they made the change too. I think Guthrie has gone on to Rioli. Josh Hunt has gone on to Bruce. So after it's settled down, Cam Guthrie's the man who's got Rioli.
Vardy and Bailey to contest. Vardy front position. Just got a lot of volleyball dig onto it, and it went back towards the boundary line and a boundary thrown. Well, Hodge looked up, went down to pick up the footy, and then sort of fumbled the footy.
He handballed it before he got it.
Yeah.
But he did have a look.
How's that efficiency going, Ben?
It's up to 54. It's
good.
eking up.
Bailey the palm down to Hill. Hill snaps it to the top of the square, wants a mark. Hale! Oh, with the Dennis Family Homes one-hand contender. How did he mark that? He was at the front of the pack, and it basically rolled down his forearm into his midriff, and he was able to clutch onto it after getting first touch on the footy.
Oh, Bluey, body spoil in need. I think we talked the listeners through that.
Oh, just defenders flat-footed. And Harry Taylor, he hasn't marked the ball since he signed his contract. He missed that by 3 metres, that mark, where normally he'd eat that.
Hale to right the wrong of an earlier set shot, 35 out, not much of an angle to speak of, and does so. Kicks his first, and the Hawks second, and they're back in front. Hawthorn 2-2-14, Geelong 2 straight 12, 17 minutes gone first quarter.
Kingy, the most disappointing aspect of that contest there, the ball has gone in high into the Hawthorn forward line. Now, in that pack, Geelong had 3 or 4 defenders, Bluey. Yep. The expectation would be that one of those players at least crunches the body of David Hale. You asked the question in the call, how did he manage to take that? Well, he managed to take it 2 reasons. One, because he's obviously very tall, but the second one, there was no body contact.
No.
Now, Taylor went, Jared Rivers was there, I don't know, there was someone else there. They needed to take his body out of the contest.
Flat-footed.
Yeah, good. Anyway, he makes the most of that opportunity. What have we got? 2-2-14 the Hawks and 2 straight Geelong. Anthony, 12.
So 2 points the difference. I think Geelong would be happy with that, given they're going at half rat power at the moment. As Bartel comes in off the line, went without the football, and as he tried to protect the drop zone, Selwood knows no other way than one way, but fumbled. Bailey didn't get a clearing kick away, and the ball bobbles out towards the wing. Hill first to arrive. Duncan on his tail. Hill's got to go backwards. He's going to find Burgoyne. So Burgoyne just backwards of the wing on the members' side as they kick to the punt road end. The Hawks, or the left of your radio dial, he kicks to Jordan Lewis, who marks. Well-weighted kick for him further afield, but tight against the boundary line. Kicks to Mitchell, who marks on the chest, out in front of Stevie J. And Mitchell, too far out to score. He's got to pick a hole in the Geelong defence, and he might have done so, has he? 2 bites of the cherry bruised. Well, that was sloppy defence from the Cats. They needed to fill that hole, surely. He's a beautiful kick of the football. He's marked it 45 out, not much of an angle.
Yeah, Joel Selwood looking around there for Bruce, direct opponent, but he was manned up on him, and he just let
he's
him
going to
go.
give it off. Sorry, Bluey. He's given it off to the wigged one in Guerra, who goes whack from outside 50. And the Raw tells you that he was bang on target. Brent Guerra kicks his first goal of the game, Hawthorn's third, And they're out to an 8-point break. Hawthorn 3-2-20, Geelong 2 straight 12. That's happening on the Telstra Geelong CBD scoreboard.
Anthony, on that occasion then, there were two examples of why Hawthorn are very good playing with the extra defender. Now, it's like your kicking efficiency, Ben. I'm going to be on it all night. Geelong are playing with 7 defenders, so Hawthorn have a free backman themselves. What it did initially in that play, it allowed the young fella to go backwards because he knew he had a spare player there. Hill went backwards, and then Guerra, he ran to the half-back line. 5 forwards can't cover the 6 defenders. Someone's going to get free. He got free in long bomb. So it's something they need to be aware of.
Hale and blitz halves. Hale won that one. Mitchell on hands and knees fires a handball outside the centre square to the outer wing. And then Shields goes off the deck but gave up ground. Murdoch ran over the top of it. Now Selwood's given away a free kick. He was too high and a little bit crude on Luke Hodge.
27 more possessions Hawthorn have had. They've had 3 more clearances, 4 more inside 50s, and they've had 2 more tackles, despite the fact they've had a lot more of the footy.
Hodge had one attempt at it but was asked to send the ball back after he got it off to Burgoyne. And he plays on now, runs inside defensive 50, then goes from 150 numeral to the other virtually to Guerra. Guerra can go over the top to a hard-running Smith. He marks in front of the MCC members. It's the next kick that the Cats need to shut down, Neildy.
It is a bit, especially if he tries to come inside, Kingy.
So Smith on the boundary line gets a shepherd from Birchall and then just kicks high to the wing,
Rivers.
asking for Gunston, but Rivers with a double fist sends it out of play at the interchange gates, where Heath Buck is keeping things warm down there. Any movement in regards to Duncan and being back with those ribs at all?
Yeah, he's fine, actually. Just going to the stoppage as we speak, Kingy. He's fine at the moment.
Throw in front of the interchange gates as the ruckman wrestle. It's Stokes who sharked it, and then a banana ball along the ground. Selwood took it.
Wow.
Brilliant stuff to Stokes. Back to Corey in some space, who just waits the kick for Murdoch to mark. He dropped the mark in the end. I thought he had it. It spills nicely for Motlop. Motlop with the banana ball. Fancy that. Motlop from the outside of the boot has bent it back and split the middle. Well, party trick early from Motlop to kick a Dennis Family Holes contender. Goal of the day, 21 and a half minutes, and Geelong within 2 points. 3 straight 18, Hawthorn 3-2-20. Telstra, Geelong CBD scoreboard.
Sorry, I was going to say, that's the danger with the way the Cats are playing with that extra defender, that it leaves a lot of space forward for their quick players. Murdoch got out in his own and, you know, probably wasn't quite hard as what he should be. He should have marked that, and that's something he can learn from. He did have a look, but it opened him up, and they got to the fall of the ball, and Motlop on that banana, fantastic.
Hale the tap down as Blitzards went early. Mitchell off the ground, inside 50 it goes. Brewston, Mackie deflects off a boot. Bouncing ball, all crunch. Smith got barreled by Duncan. Then the kick into the middle of the ground for the Cats, but Birchall worked on Murdoch and took the mark. Cause of a push. Umpire didn't see that. Birchall to centre half forward. We're standing all alone is Lewis. Bang, Taylor brought it to ground, but Mitchell was at the front. Fired off a handball on the bounce to Hill. Hill wanted the don't argue on Rivers. Now shares it with Smith. Tight against the boundary line. His kick is partially smothered. Deflects off Bartell's hand though to Hale, who gave it quickly to Bruce, who snapped to the goal line. Duncan going back, and the ball has deflected into the post as Rioli thinks that he snapped a goal, and the crowd do as well. But the ball was knocked into the behind post by Duncan and Guthrie.
Guthrie was tackled on that goal line to stay away from the contest by Rioli there. That was a poor decision from the umpire. He needed to see that. He's 5 metres away. We were 100 metres away.
Hawthorn 3-3-21. Geelong 3 straight 18. 23 minutes gone first quarter.
Short kick in, finds Harry Taylor. Taylor out of the back pocket. He goes long up the southern side, and Podsiadly floats in from the side. Gives to a running James Kelly. This is good ball movement by the Cats. He's going to hit the next target, and it's Tom Hawkins. Full-chested, he takes the mark. He gets up to his feet now. Too far out to score. He's about a kick and a half away. Oh, it kicks into the man on the mark. Straight into Brian Lake. Just needed to duck the other way. He handballed off to Buddy. Buddy's handball back was too fierce. James Kelly, he puts his head over the football. Tried to fist it forward, had an airy. Comes up for Duncan. Duncan kicks a little one inside 50. Hill there to grab it on the bounce, gives it to Birchall. Birchall slides one wide to Guerra, and they'll build from here. The Hawks, a lost opportunity for the Cats. He kicks out towards Smith, and Shields who kicks now down the line to Smith, and Smith marks. He's going to come inboard. There's a loose player on. It's Max Bailey, and Bailey has it. He's on the front point of the square. And he just kicks the space looking for Cyril. He was interfered with in the mark, but it fairly said the umpire bobbled out towards Puopolo. Puopolo's kick. It's going to get all the way to the line, and Lonigan will safely see it over. No, he won't. He'll keep it in and go to Bartel.
He will, who chips a kick to Christensen. He must just inside defensive 50. Rioli got free there because he got a wonderful block off the footy that stopped Guthrie going with him. Christensen to Murdoch, and Murdoch will send it to the southern stand side to Podsiadly, where Blitzarves will work in front of Hill. Won't get enough space for the J-Pod to send it to him, so goes along the line, looking wide for Corey, who marks on the chest. No, he dropped it. Found it on the deck, but Hill went to go off the ground. As he did that, Corey fisted it forward. Lake there to pick it up. Wrapped up in a Selwood tackle, and the ball is out of bounds. Boundary thrown. Joel Selwood for Bunnings, please.
He's had 2 possessions. Nathan Vardy yet to touch the footy. Mitch Duncan only 1 kick. James Kelly's only had 2 possessions, 1 effective disposal.
So some cats not yet working into the game as Bailey wins front position. Down to Bruce. Fired off a handball. Tried to get it to Sewell, but cats have got numbers, including Murdoch. Duncan a handball out the back to Stokes. Stokes to the logo to Taylor. He's got some space. He's got options now. What does he do with it? He sends it inside forward 50. He looks long. He wants Vardy going back with the flight. Oh, well played. Hodge brought it to ground without interfering. Hawkins, though, was too slow with the handball, but he'll pick up the crumbs. Give it off to Corey. Corey shares it with Johnson on his non-preferred left. A wonderful smother by Stratton. Ball deflects into space for Hill to pick up.
Hill, he didn't pick it up in the end, and that fumble cost him a possession and maybe a clearance out of their defensive zone. It goes over the boundary line. We're going to throw in instead.
He's been good, Hill. He's had 7 possessions already. Guerra's had 9, hit the target with all 9, but Hill in youngsters been good for the Hawks.
Throw in, gets you in a minute, Bluey, as Vardy gets it down to Stevie J, who mid-air kicks it up towards centre forward. Christensen takes it and shrugs a tackle. He bombs long from 50! From 50!
Make a decision.
We're going to the videotape. For sure and certain we're going to the videotape. I reckon the umpire wants to pay a goal. Let's hear it. Umpire says...
This guy's playing bingo. He's playing the pokies, this guy.
We've gone too early up to the video, so we didn't get to see the signal from the goal umpire to check on what he thought it was in the first place.
It'll be inconclusive.
Well, we don't know what the goal umpire wanted to pay. It looked to me like he was squaring up to signal a goal. That's over, I reckon.
That's a goal.
It is a goal. And it is a goal of the day contender without any shadow of a doubt. Bundy Christensen from outside 50. He's bombed it long. And it is all clear. All clear.
The bloke's out the back having a smoke.
It is officially... There seems to be Jeff Allen Memorial technical difficulties. It is all clear. It's the goal. Cats back in front.
Oh, my God.
Is that Jeff Allen, that goal umpire?
It's one of the more convoluted aspects in world sport. That is just horrendous. That is a farcical situation that we actually have that in this competition.
But if it's the right decision,
most of them are inconclusive. It's a waste of time. We're trying to adjudicate goal line.
It's a great thing because they've just clarified that it's a goal.
Let's go with the goal umpire.
Thing. No, but they're trying to eradicate
the goal umpire, when you look at the replay, was in perfect position. The technology, it makes him take the easy way out.
Correct.
No, it doesn't.
He's employed to make this. He's in perfect position.
And he made a decision. He thought, I think that's a goal, but I wouldn't mind checking.
Tony Crafter used to be able to call run-outs from square leg and not miss them.
They didn't even invent the iPhone when he was umpiring. It doesn't matter.
Smith sends the Hawks inside forward 50. I'll call the game. You guys argue. Mackey, Hunt was being held without it. Surely ball got to Mackey. Chance now for the Hawks. Got numbers on the footy, and just as he was thinking of running into open goal, Bruce left it behind. Hands and knees Roughhead. And there's Varco and also Kelly. Kelly got a kick in there that ricocheted off Smith's boot. Bailey went a little soccer kick. That deflected to Vardy. Johnson might have caught one high. Fed it to Guthrie. Guthrie had it knocked from his grasp. Great smother Lonigan on Smith as Motlop picks up the crumbs. Kicks to the wing for Podsiadly. Oh, Josh Gibson. A wonderful diving mark that Tony Crafter would have given out at first slip for Dennis Family Homes.
And he goes down the line. Rioli inside 50. Oh, one-on-one wrestle. And it'll be a free kick going Hawthorn's way.
Wow.
Free kick Hawthorn's way. Well, could we go to the videotape on that one, umpire?
No, that's not
because
the rules, Anthony. Don't be silly.
Gunston and Bartel were tangled in a one-on-one. And it looked to me like Bartel was just using strength to outmuscle him as we go down, because there's a big-time injury news down boundary side. Heath Buck come in.
Yeah, it looks like Buddy coming from the ground, just favouring looks like a right arm or right shoulder at the moment. Just going straight down in the roots, I think.
Gee whiz, Total Tools injury update says Buddy Franklin off the ground. He's hardly had an impact on the game, and he looked to be favouring a shoulder there, Bucky. Keep a very close eye on that as Gunston comes in, and he has missed. Well, he might have realised too that the umpire paid the free kick the wrong way,
He had 5 disposals, Mitho. But Buddy came holding that right wing. I heard him say, read his lips, he said, I'm okay, so I'll see if he comes back.
I reckon he'd had most of his possessions backwards of the centre though, so Geelong stream out of defence.
Hunt's wonderful kick in. Surely Podsiadly being held by Guerra. Hunt's kick in went to Christensen, who went looking for the J-Pod. Guerra held on to him. He's got the footy now, Guerra, after Gibson gave him the handball. Kick to half forward looking for Roughhead. Well done, Taylor. He might have been Falcon, but Falcon towards Hunt, but his handball set up Stokes, and now the cavalry is overflowing for Hawthorn. Roughhead's got options. They're queuing up, and one of them is his old mate Jordan Lewis, 25 out directly in front, because Josh Hunt's handball missed the target.
No, went back before that. Alan Christensen needed to lower his vision and hit Harry Taylor. Instead, he kicked at the J-Pod 1-on-2. You just need to make good decisions coming off defensive 50. It was a chip kick that had to go 25 metres.
It was friendly fire, Franklin. David Hale's the one that got him in a tackle, so he was tackling Franklin, and Hale came across.
Lewis for a rare goal this year, and I tell you what, he might have made a mess of it. He has. He missed to the right, through from behind. So the Cats are dodging bullets left, right and centre at the moment. Hale, Gunston, Lewis, all with makeable shots. A miss. Geelong 4 straight, Hawthorn 3-5.
A barrel out of defence was risky business, but it's come off. Jimmy Bartel, I suppose Brownlow medalist can make that call. Murdoch marked it. He goes long. Oh, look at Podsiadly, who's done a shoulder. He's crashed straight into Guerra, and he's come off second best. Yep. Siren goes. There's a free kick. It's going to go to Podsiadly, is it?
Yeah, Anthony, it should too, because the little rug man, that's a tunnel, Bluey. He wasn't letting J-Pod get anywhere near that. And J-Pod, he effectively took his legs from under him. He's landed on that shoulder.
The siren sounded, and all the concern is for James Podsiadly, who's still on his haunches, and he's too far out to have the shot at goal. So they'll huddle up with the scoreboard looking like this at quarter time. Hang on to your hats, Cat fans, because we're going to the wire. Geelong 4 straight 24, Hawthorn 3-5 23. But did you expect anything else? Live, breathe, K-Rock footy.
Cats by a point here at the MCG, straight down to Heath Buck for Total Tools. Buddy Franklin, watch.
Yeah, Kingy yet to re-emerge from the ruins. Buddy Franklin has been trainers running up and down, magic sprays, everything going down to Buddy, but he has not come back. The other injury concern was James Podsiadly, copped that heavy knock. He's okay. Brad Saul, dislocated finger, looks to be okay. And the other one for the Cats is Mitch Duncan, copped a heavy knock early on in the game, seems to be okay. Here comes Buddy now, boys. Looks like his elbow is heavily strapped and favouring that arm as he goes out to the huddle now. Looks to be okay. Must be some concern though with him.
Fantastic. Heath Buck down there for Total Tools. Let's get some quick Bunning stats, please. Benny Cass.
Yeah, the Bunning stats. The Hawks had 30 more possessions. They had 2 more clearances. They had 6 more tackles, and they had 7 more inside 50s. So they dominated. Guerra was good. He had 10 possessions, hit the target with all 10. Mitchell had 8. Hill had 7, and Lewis 6. And kicked the short. He should have kicked the goal, kicked it behind. Hale's been dangerous up forwards, kicked the goal for the Cats. Johnson had 8. Stokes had 7. A couple of players struggling. James Kelly just the 2 kicks. Joel Selwood just 1 kick. Travis Varco no effective disposals in that first quarter of footy.
Fantastic momentum energy, Mark Neal and Tim McGrath. Geelong lead by a point, but probably haven't been the better side.
No, they possibly haven't, but what they did, Kingy, they managed to make the most of their opportunities. I think, as Ben was saying, with the inside 50s, they went into their forward line quite amount of times less than Hawthorn, but what they did, they produced scoring shots from that, which was really, really important. And at the start of the game, boys, they actually managed to just weather the storm. Hawthorn had the run of play, but the Geelong back 6 in particular defended really well.
Second quarter for Ross Park. The good guys. Here's Anthony Miffins.
Yeah, inside 50s with 15-9 Hawthorn's way, but Geelong by a point as Bailey. He waxes it with Mitchell. He ends up kicking Bailey inside 50, but Harry Taylor couldn't quite complete that first mark since he signed his contract. As out of the centre-half back region, Bartel goes heading towards the boundary line and gets it that way. And he's been called for deliberate. How did that get called for deliberate?
Stokes' fist along the boundary line.
Well, he was trying to knock it to a couple of players who were in the region, surely. There was doubt in the umpire's mind, no doubt. So the long kick goes inside forward 50 again for the Hawks. Roughhead's kick partly smothered. It comes back for Mitchell. Mitchell to Burgoyne. Burgoyne bumped as he kicked it by Selwood. He kicks long and high up to the top of the square. Cyril Rioli goes back with courage. Vardy takes the crumb, gives it to Mackie, who slams it on the boots, comes off Murdoch's chest, paddle back into play towards Birchall, who spears one at Puopolo. He couldn't mark. Christensen good. Snaps around the corner, up towards the wing. Tommy Hawkins got to take a mark. Couldn't quite. And in the end gives away a free kick too high. Digging back in after it. He was a little too fierce on Lake. And Lake to take the free.
Shares it by hand with Birchall, who swings the Hawks inside forward 50. Looking for a mark. Big Bailey down there off the hands of the pack. Guthrie knocked it forward. Hale's there as well. Left behind by Vardy. Tackle laid by Lonigan. Ball under the pack. There's a Hawk holding it up. The umpire says, give it to me.
Just a quick change in the method of Hawthorn's play. In the first quarter, they were the chip going inside 50. This time, they're really just going the long bomb, put the Cats defenders under as much pressure as they can.
Smith, third man up, was volleyballed then by Taylor. And Duncan then socketed it to his own advantage and was happy to see it to the boundary line. And the umpire surely won't pay that deliberate. And we'll get a boundary throw in. So in front of the MCC members, we'll get some more Wombat Gully Plant Farm matchup shortly from Bluey and Neildy. As Vardy front position. Won the tap down. Corey on the bounce. Takes it now and then sends a kick into the middle for a running Christensen. Foot race time now. How will it sit for Bundy? He wants to go off the deck inside 50. Asks a lot of Hawkins. Stratton will be first back there. Oh, well done, Tomahawk. Wonderful tackle. Holding the ball. The Tomahawk.
Come on, Cat fans, let's get him over the line here.
Wonderfully done, and Stratton's being told about it as well. The Hawks stuck to the task, and from a similar position that he kicked the goal last year to win the game, he'll go back and have a shot.
I told you Benny moved well on Wednesday.
Tomahawk. It's just a mail, that early mail of
and he'll kick
session.
He'll kick this because at training Wednesday, he was having shots from 50 and kicking them through post high.
Kingy, let's get this lid lifted on this stadium. Cat fans, if you're listening on 88.0, absolutely make some noise when this goes through post high.
Hawkins will kick from 47, leans back on the kick and has pushed it to the right. And as a result, doubles the Cats' lead, their first blemish on the scoreboard. 4-1-25, Hawthorn 3-5-23, 3 minutes gone, second quarter. Ross Park, the good guy scoreboard.
We both mock it in there, Bluey.
Yeah, we're going to go the reverse mods from now on.
Yeah.
Franklin back on, Kingy.
Thank you, Bucky.
Back into the fray as Burgoyne drains a long kick outside defensive 50. It's fisted back in and running into trouble. Big trouble. Guerra, you're gone too. Gone. Nailed to the post by little Stokesy, who gets up and is going to have the shot at goal, maybe, or he'll give it off to Motlop, and Motlop will bomb it long. Not sure about that as a set play. He was unsettled. He goes to the top of the square. Lake comes over. Fists it down for Corey, though. Corey just got to get a handball away. Does so to Rivers. Rivers now to Stevie J. Circus music time, please. Cue music. It's Stevie J time at the MCG. 3 goals to Stephen Johnson, the miracle man himself. And Geelong skip out to an 8-point lead. 5-1-31. Hawthorn 3-5-23. 4 minutes gone. Second quarter. Ross Bart, the good guys.
Neildy, I thought Jared Rivers, who's pushed up from half back, made a very experienced decision in handballing it to Stevie J, and he obviously knows his limitations and give it to Stevie and he'll do the rest. But great work from Rivers.
Funny stat sheet mirrored the first quarter. The Cats go inside 2 times for 1 goal. Hawks went in 3 times in the opening couple of minutes. Weren't able to hit the scoreboard at all.
Blitzarves and Bailey to do battle. Back in the middle of the G. Blitzarves got high, but Bailey won it down. Johnson cruising through, wanted to pick up the footing, gave it to Selwood, who then swung it to Blitzarves. Cats will go inside 50. The Giraffe sends it inside 50. Not a great kick off the outside of his left boot, and Burgoyne was in best position to mark and did so on the chest. He'll bring it towards our broadcast side, where he'll look for a couple of options. One of them is Hodge, who's got 3. How many on the Bunnings, please, for Luke Hodge?
This is just his second effective disposal.
Kick to half forward, looking for a mark. Bailey going back. Hale crashes the pack. Rivers did well. Selwood fired a handball on the bounce to Johnson. Got rid of Sewell and then got the footy and then looped it into the path of Rivers or Corey. They looked at each other. Rivers got it to Corey. Corey can go back to Johnson. Johnson on his non-preferred left will kick to half forward and ask for Duncan. Duncan to mark. Fist came from behind, and Duncan did the roving. Gave it to Motlop, who just burned away from Sewell inside 50 for the tomahawk to mark. He wants to play on. No, he doesn't.
Oh, well done.
He thought about it. He had the J-pod streaming towards goal, but he said, I'll go back and I'll have a shot, and to use the words of Anthony Miffin, own the moment.
Bluey, you just love coming to finals to watch really good players play. The ability of Selwood to win the contested ball, to Johnson the contested ball, and then Motlop to gather that ball, break away from the pack, and also to dictate where Hawkins needed to lead.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
He just put the mirrors down and knew whoever was behind him, he had covered for leg speed and just took off.
It was
just happened to be Sewell.
Brad Sewell is like a slug with a limp.
This for the biggest lead of the game. Hawkins from 45 leans back on this one, but delivers, and the Cats are 14 up.
Now take the roof off, Cat fans.
The Hawk with his first, the Cats with their sixth, and their 6-1-37. Hawthorn 3-5-23. 6 minutes gone, second quarter. Ross Buck, the good guys.
Can't remember who it was, Neildy, down here at half back who went that long kick where Selwood got it. Hodge, touch of panic, I reckon. He had Gunston loose, and you've been talking about the way Hawthorn, when they've got that loose man, they're deadly and they use it every time. He elected to ignore Gunston, and as a consequence went to a contest. Geelong win the contest, kick a goal.
You're quite correct, Mitho, along what Barmy was saying pre-game, hoping that Hawthorn would change their way. That's not the way they've played all year. They used that ball to chip it through, so, yeah, perhaps a touch of panic.
Similar to the Christensen one in the first quarter when he missed Harry Taylor.
Exactly
In the
so.
identical spot.
Bounce of the ball, we'll get to you in a minute, Benny, is Jordan Lewis. He's tackled once, twice, and finally dispossessed. Umpire gives him the benefit. Motlop, he's using his pace, electrifyingly so. He kicks up to Murdoch, and they're looking quick, the Cats. Motlop to Murdoch. Like the look of that as Murdoch on that left boot. He kicks it up towards forward 50. Coming at the football, the tall timber. They crashed into each other, Podsiadly and Hawkins. Christensen, the crumb. Handballs to a dangerous location. Oh, Bartel pushed in the back. No free kick. Umpire not brave enough. Now paddling after it, Varco. Off the ground he goes, and it's saved soccer style. Soccer goalkeeper style down that last line by Mitchell. Yes, Benny.
Just keep an eye on what happens to Steve Jay's off the ground at the minute, but Hawthorn got to do something. He had 12 possessions, 6 contested, 3 clearances and kicked 3 goals.
Guerra, a wonderful kick in towards our broadcast side to Mitchell, who wants to run around Stokes. Kicks on his non-preferred left, looking for Gunston. Will have the sit on Hunt. Hunt did well to get a body back, and then he'll a little toe along the ground, but Mackie will be first there. Circled the footy, wants to knock it on. He's got a couple of Cats in support. Taylor one, Bartel the other. Just reefed a handball into space for Josh Hunt. Will have to be quick, and he was, to Mackie at half-back. Straightens things up and sends a kick along the wing looking for Johnson. Mitchell just crashed into his back. Umpire said play on. Will the ball stay in for Taylor? It does. Gave it to Selwood, but the umpire said out of bounds. He was Johnny on the spot. The man in line green.
Stevie J's got up with a limp after getting pushed in the back. He's got a sore lower back.
He's
that was
always
just
like that.
But it was an absolute lay down misère, shoving the back.
Little palm by Bailey to Mitchell, but Vardy came through and stole the footy. Reefed away by Burgoyne, who just jammed it on the boot. Kicked for touch on the wing. Spinning ball. It actually spun on its point. And the umpire says now it's out of play as Josh Hunt walks it over for a boundary throw in at true centre wing. The Cats with the upper hand, Mytho. Dare we say in a Geelong Hawthorn match, 15 points clear.
Yeah, we won't be going any early crow against this opposition as Kelly fumbles, gets it back again, dug back hard, and then spirals one up towards half forward. Blitzars has to stand up and give a contest. He does, but Lake was too good for him. He got it away to Hodge. Hodge now to Guerra, and Guerra inside defensive 50. Which way will they break? Geelong not giving them the corridor, and that was forecast by Neil Baum in the pre-game on K-Rock. He sends it out wide, gets it to Mitchell. Mitchell wants the corridor, but there ain't nothing doing up there. The Cats really disciplining their structures at the moment. He wants to play on, and then he's just forced to bomb it long to a contest. It's a 3-on-2. Geelong with the 3. Well done, Guthrie. Paddle it backwards. Sewell did well, though. He comes out the back gate, gets it to Roughhead in the end. Roughhead, he goes to Bruce. Bruce on that trusty left foot. Goes to the pocket. Bouncing ball. Picked up by Gunston. He gets it to Hill. He's just got to keep it in. Hill got off the leash. Who's on him? They all look at each other and he kicks the open goal. He's got his first, and they drag the margin back to just 9 points. So Hawthorn 4-5-29, Geelong 6-2-38, and that is happening on the second quarter. Ross Bart, the good guys scoreboard.
Just interesting, Neildy, how players can be magnetised by the ball. It's been down this members side, seems like, for the last 10 minutes. Then all of a sudden, the fat side of the ground, Hill just wanders to the goal square, and Motlop and I think Mitch Duncan, who were just sort of watching the play on this side, been caught out by Hill, who's run behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very unusual for someone to find 50 metres of space in a final, Bluey. But
Yes.
he found it, and against a runner play, goal to the Hawks.
Blitzarves and Hale to compete. Hale the tap down, wanted Burgoyne. Good tackle, Selwood dumped him. A little boot on the ball as he fell to ground, but only as far as Corey. Johnson off a step inside 50, looking for Bartel. A double fist comes from Stratton, but Selwood's there to pick it up. Got the tackle, the handball away as he was tackled by Roughhead, but still picked up the crumb. Oh, Rivers a wonderful mark in a wrestle with Bruce. Quick handball up to Duncan, and Duncan will send it wide, and he's got Johnson.
Johnson, will he handball on to Christensen? No, he checks himself, and then he goes with a bomb. Podsiadly! Came from a long way back, but had his name written on it all the way to the van where he took the mark and went up and took a Dennis Family Homes contender for mark of the day.
Two really good marks in that passage of play. One from Rivers, who just kept his eye on the ball. And Podsiadly, when he gets a really good run at it, Neildy, he doesn't drop those.
No, he's hard to stop. He's a big man, and when he gets a leap at it like that, he sits well above the pack, and really, really strong hands. Let's hope he can put this one through.
He makes it hard for the defender because he extends his arms out.
He's a good kick of the football, and he's on the right side for a left footer, 45-degree angle, 50 out. He kicks for distance, and he might have just pushed it. He has out to the left, through for a minor score. So the margin now a neat 10 points, 39 plays 29. Ross Part, the good guys, second quarter scoreboard.
Interesting half-time guest, Smitho. We've got Habir, the Indian guy off the Fortify ad.
Oh, is that right?
He commentates in Punjabi.
Punjabi, we'll get a bit of Punjabi, will we?
They have races there too.
Turnover time. Guerra went to the middle to Gibson. Bartel got a hand on it. Hawkins shrugged the tackle, not eventually, but got the ball out. Rolls out. Burgoyne tackled by Murdoch. Ball still bobbling around. Hodges kick partially smothered, but scrubs it 20 metres towards the punt road boundary line. And we're going to get a deliberate call here. Surely, are we?
Surely not.
Oh, Roughhead with the soccer kick. Was he looking to get it to Lake, or was he just overrunning the footy?
He was 6'4", trying to bend over while running as fast as he could.
It's a bit slippery. He's getting the benefit of the doubt there. I asked the question.
Very harsh, and I just smashed it back over there.
Vardy, the tap down. Stokes, the snap. Hawkins, the body work. Can't mark. Ball comes to the pack for Lake to clean up and kick towards the boundary. Murdoch will be first there. Hill will look to close him down. Murdoch didn't realise Hill was coming fast, but he shrugged the tackle. Kicked back to the top of the square with some bend. Podsiadly smart. Brought it back to the top of the square. Vardy will snap the goal. That is the play of the night from James Podsiadly.
What just happened?
Podsiadly flew the pack and managed to keep it in play. Brought it back towards Vardy at the top of the square, who finished off beautifully. That is an assist in the basketball scheme of things. And wow, from Podsiadly. Smart play. Cats by 16, a game high lead.
King, that's very well called, because that is footy's version of an alley-oop or an assist or whatever you want to call it. An ability for someone that big, Louis, to get up, presence of mind to actually belt the ball back to the top of the square from the goal line, and then to actually be picked up by someone who's about 200 centimetres tall and kick on your left is a fantastic game we're watching.
Those Geelong blokes at the top of the square, I reckon they were even amazed. How did he do that?
That's experience, isn't it?
Outstanding.
Ball back in the middle. Geelong in control of the game. Stevie J, they don't argue and then drop the footy. He's lucky to get away with that one. Ball still in dispute in the middle. They go at it with their toe pokes. They can't get it. Selwood has his head pulled off. Doesn't worry about that.
Hawkins,
gets on with it. Kicks inside 50. Hawkins, was he dragged down? No. Ball hits the deck. Goes out at ground level. Duncan over the top of it. So too Lewis. Lewis got a little handball away. Corey ridden like a beaten favourite there. Umpire put the whistle away. Sewell over the top of the football. Now Lewis tries to clear it. Guthrie there though. Handball backwards to Duncan was good. Gives it to Stevie J. Was going to call it a one-man party for a moment. He's kicked 3 already, and that was probably his easiest chance, although he did kick one from point-blank range.
St Paul's North Geelong, Mytho, bad news for the Horses. Paul Piopolo going down to the rooms now with some sort of leg injury. That's very bad.
Well, that will muck him up everywhere as Hawthorn get on with it quickly. 46-29, Geelong in front.
Guerra to himself sends it to the southern stand side, and the good use of the body out there by Gunston over Guthrie. That's a mismatch the Cats will have to keep an eye on if it continues that way for a little while. Gunston with the footy. He can go over the top to Mitchell, who's offered something, but he'll send it a little bit longer. Looking down there for Hale off the footy. Josh Hunt might have given away a free kick. He did, and it'll be Bruce who'll take it. Bruce with the footy, quickly inside 50, wants Franklin. Well done, Lonigan brought it to ground and then picked up the spillage, fended off Franklin, who took him by the leg, and that'll be a free kick to the Cats. Almost professional by Buddy as he looked to fire it off to Josh Hunt.
No doubt, Kenyon.
Lonigan will now concede to Hunt. Almost back at the top of the goal square, into the MCC members' back pocket to Stokes, and he can come to Vardy, who's working his Tijuana brass off.
He is. He put in the big ones there to get out into the space and out in front of Luke Hodge. He's taken the mark. He's backwards to the centre, half back for the Cats on the members' side.
Kick.
Squares up. Josh Hunt was the target, finds him at the top of his defensive arc. He sends it out to the southern side, and Rivers had got free. This is nice for the Cats. He can go to the loose over the top. Instead, he goes further afield. They're loose everywhere. Harry Taylor's got it. He dodges and weaves, ducks and dives. Handballs off backwards now. Motlop spears one inside 50. Gibson in the van, drop the mark. Tomahawk, he crashes his way through. Tries to get into Stevie J territory. Why wouldn't you? Christensen taken high. Christensen the free kick. And he just dropped the knees at the right time. It was great stuff, clever stuff from Little Bundy. And he'll go back and have the shot. Well, he thought about giving off to old mate Motlop, but he's tried that already, and it didn't quite work the first time. Don't try it the second.
Interesting, Mitto. Every time the ball's gone forward to Hawkins, this is the most dangerous he's looked in about 8 weeks.
He's moving really well.
Just competes, doesn't he? As Christensen outside his range, you would think, and he puts it to the top of the square. Tomahawk nearly clunked one. As now Hodge has been pulled off the ball by his collar. As Bluey getting very excited in the back row.
I thought he knocked the whole back row fly.
50. Not sure what the 50 was for. But
Ball not getting back to Hodge quick enough.
It was paid against Bluey for the arm strike he just gave me.
he was pretty excited, Bluey. As he should have been. The Tomahawk is back in good form. As he goes sideways, it was a dangerous sort of kick. Now advantage is paid. Everyone's confused.
The Rudd's in trouble behind play. I'll keep an eye on that.
Smith gets on with it. Goes to Shields. Hardly spotted him. Shields at half forward for the Hawks.
Got the footy. With Johnson standing the mark. We'll keep an eye on Guerra. Heathbuck for total tools.
Yeah, good old-fashioned corky. Left corky on the buttocks for Guerra.
Kick to the top of the square in front. Rough head. Ball fisted away for Stokes to clean up. Or Bartel had a fit of the fumbles, but time to recover. Give it to Selwood, who shares it now with the former Demon Rivers. Wouldn't have dreamed he'd be here on preliminary final night 12 months ago. And then a kick to the wing as Christensen gave away a free kick for a shove. And that's no disrespect to the man sitting right behind me. Smith with the footy. I wasn't offended by that.
She's had a few. Few free kicks, 22 apiece, 11 each, 22 apiece. We had very few last weekend.
Guerra at a half forward, and Hale's got free, 70 from home, but the Hawks looking impotent up forward. He goes short. Gunston on a lead, manages to get away from blitz halves and mark on the chest.
Cass, the kicking efficiency, just general observation, the Cats are doing a pretty good job this quarter, I would think. What do you got for us?
Yeah, 74%. It's up to Hawks at 63 overall, at 69 each. Cats have got right on top with the disposal numbers, though, this quarter. They've nearly doubled, 38-61. They've also won the contested possession count. They've won the clearance count, the tackle count, and the inside 50 count.
Guerra to the bench, Bucky.
Guerra to the bench, and Poppy back from the rooms. Looks to be moving okay.
Gunston for a much-needed goal for the Hawks to cut it back to 11 from 52. He hit it very, very well. He's got 2. And for all their dominance, the Cats in this second quarter, they only lead by 11 as the Hawks come again. They're 5-5-35. Geelong is 7-4-46. 19 minutes gone, second quarter. Ross Park, the good guys.
I don't know what the stats would be over the year, Neildy, about set shots for goal, but him, Gunston and Schultz are absolutely fantastic kicks. He's got not an awkward style, but the way he holds the ball for a goal kicker, he tilts it forward seems like too much, but he's got a great style.
Yeah, he does it, but he's a player that has the dead set routine. It's exactly the same, whether it's round one, whether it's training, whether it's preliminary final night, and it's a solid run-in, and it stands up in big games. So
he doesn't try and over-kick the ball like some players do.
Beautiful leg action through the footy as Bailey gets the ball moving Hawthorn's way, but Selwood there got one high, but managed to handball out to Corey. Mark kneeled in awe of Joel Selwood's working close. Cyril Rioli pounced, gave it to Mitchell. Mitchell scrubs the kick forward, goes out wide to half-forward flank, and the ball bounces over the boundary line. We'll get a throw in 60 round from Hawthorn's goal.
Mitho, that ability of Joel Selwood just to withhold what's going on around him, keep the ball in and then get it to a teammate, that is just outstanding footy skill.
Easy for us up here to see that Joel Corey was free, but for him to do it in traffic, unbelievable, as Burgoyne sharks the footy and then kicks inside forward 50, but no one home. A bouncing ball goes over the boundary in the pocket. Throw in. Lots of players around the football, as you would suspect. Now, Geelong against Fremantle leaked a couple of goals this way. Let's see how tight they are here. They've got most holes filled, and Duncan in one of those. Should have got the footy in the end. Burgoyne capitalised on the fumble, gave it over to Hodge. Hodge tries to get rid of it. Shields in there as well. Ball comes out the back gate. Burgoyne working really hard. Hale tries to bullock his way through. Did he get rid of it fairly? And diving on the ball was Harry Taylor, and there's dangerous kick, free kick. Yeah.
Is that what they call it? In danger? Or is it
dangerous kick. So, dangerous kick against the Hawks goes to Harry Taylor, and now Geelong clear. It's away to Blitzars, who handballs dangerously to Guthrie, goes back to Blitzars. Oh, he's got a touch of the fumbles. He was tackled away from the football. Rioli picks up, goes to the pocket. Rough head there. Harry Taylor's got a few to beat. They get it forward, and they'll kick a certain goal here off the boot of Burgoyne. Burgoyne kicks a goal. Couple of inexperienced cats on that outer side, just not getting the job done in Guthrie and Blitzars. And that's going to happen. They'll get better from that. But unfortunately, it's cut the margin back to 5 points. Geelong 7-4-46. Hawthorn 6-5-41. 5 points in it. Ross Part, the good guy, scoreboard 22 minutes gone.
Yeah, Anthony, you mentioned about the inexperience. For me, it was just a pure case of body strength. Blitzars knew what he was doing. He knew what he had to do. He was just unable to break that tackle, just probably because of the body strength. He's only been in the AFL system 1 year. He'll be better for that. But on that occasion, you're quite right. That was the reason why the Hawks were able to turn it over and get a goal. When you just got to realise your limitations at this stage. Good player, but he's not the one to be breaking tackles.
Momentum back with the Hawks. Vardy and Hale. Vardy went early and neither had a clear win, so Johnson picked up the ball on the bounce. Quick kick forward was fisted back 25 metres by Mitchell. Bartel playing in front of Shields being held. Now Franklin somehow freed the arms, gave it to Hale. Inside 50 he goes. Josh Hunt read it best but couldn't mark. Burgoyne over the top of him, holds him up. Ball now spills free. Bruce out the side door. Now Rioli, just a smart little volleyball dig forward looking for Hill. Hill off the deck. Mackie will pick up the crumbs near the boundary line. We're happy to see it out, and that's what happens. Yeah. Smart play from the All-Australian. Isn't it great to be able to put that tag next to his name as an AFL footballer, Andrew Mackie?
Yeah, he's been a gun for a few years. It was a just reward as the throw-in. Roughhead tries to put his imprimatur on a quick kick. Shields from one pocket to the other, and it'll go over the boundary line. We'll get a throw-in the right forward pocket, Members side.
Just under 4 minutes to go, Mitho. Cats really need to be desperate defensively here.
It'd be nice to go in with a couple of goal buffer after all their hard work. Blitzar's good, over the top. Or Kelly was eyes forward rather than worrying about the football. He goes back after it, gives to Duncan. But Duncan under pressure kicks. It's been marked by Birchall. They're really owning the footy at the moment, the Hawks. There's Birchall. He's too far out to score, 80 or 90 metres from goal. He just wants to lope away, come up into the corridor, and then lob one inside forward 50 and put the Cats' defence under more pressure. Ball spills to the back. Bartel got Selwood has his head pulled off yet again, and they go in after it again after the whistle had easily gone, and that'll be 50.
Surely.
Yeah, that was Gibson just taking advantage. He had a real land. No, Buddy it was in the end, who came in a second time to try and get Selwood high. And, well, hang on, umpire. The 50-metre line should tell you that it should be out here in the square, because that's about a 35. And then tunnelled was Stevie J. Looks back to the umpire, no free kick. Hale does the roving, gives to Lake. Lake sends one up towards half forward. Oh, Josh Hunt! He dropped the mark, he should have taken him now. He's got a problem because the Hawks have got the footy. Handball forward, Puopolo back into the action. Here's Lance Franklin, kicking it on his boot. Oh, Cyril Rioli, can he take a mark? Great defensive pressure from Rivers. He was dragged off the football and saving the day, Andrew Mackie, forcing it through for a rush behind, but danger. 42-46, Ross Bart, the good guys.
Back in the middle, the umpire put the whistle to his mouth for a free kick for Steve Johnson and didn't blow it. Mackie into the right back pocket at the city end to Joel Corey, who marks. How many for Joel Corey tonight, please, Benny Cass?
This is possession 10. They've played 24 free kicks already, the umpires.
Ben Casanelia for Bunnings with all the stats. Corey is held up and just has to kick the distance, and Barco takes a nice strong mark in front of David Hale. Stood up well there, did the midfielder. Kick short to Kelly, who's starting to find a little bit more of it. Still inside defensive 50 though with the footy he stands.
It's only his 5th touch.
Kelly will kick to the wing, looking for Taylor on a long lead, and he marks beautifully too. Tough one to mark at that awkward height. He took it well, and he gets dacked for his... He's got the Gerard Healy shorts on, or the Gavin Wanganines. Short kick, and Selwood will mark on the outer side logo and take it and go.
Selwood, he's got the booze of the crowd now as Buddy chips in. It was a lateral kick, and Buddy's taken it, and they get him on the rebound here. A rare mistake from the skipper. He goes to Gibson, who decides to just let the formation flow back as he holds onto the football and then chips it forward. Birchall over the top to Hill by hand, and then Hill off the side of the boot finds Hale, and they are edging their way closer to goal here, the Hawks, and building in momentum. A handball off to Buddy. Buddy kicks under a little bit of pressure. Inside forward 50, rough head, goes up, can't mark, ball gets to the back, can't get to the back, shouldn't have got the back, didn't get to the back, Gunston kicks the goal. He's got 3, Hawthorn in front at the MCG dying stage of this first half. Well, it's a seesawing match. You can never give this great side away. Geelong led at one stage by 16 points by my reckoning, Benny Cash. 46 base, 48 now. Hawthorn by 2 points. Ross Bart, the good guys.
Led by 17 at the 15-minute mark of this quarter.
Louis, just amazing, this game of footy. In the first quarter, if you were not really looking at the scoreboard, you would have thought that Hawthorn were a few goals in front.
Yep.
This quarter, clearly Geelong have been the better side. Now all of a sudden Hawthorn are in front. In both occasions, we've had teams against the run of play just taking their opportunities when they've been presented.
The history of that was interesting. Podds was down there as a defender, and he didn't even attempt to spoil it or get a hand on it.
Barty and Bailey and Puopolo will do the roving of the crumbs, send it towards forward 50 again. Josh Hunt being held by one arm, tried to knock the ball out with his right. Cyril Gaff's out of trouble. Handball to his old mate Franklin, who gave it to Sewell. Sewell off a step, just snapped it forward and somehow landed it on the chest of Luke Bruce. 25 out, 30 maybe. Not much of an angle to speak of, and Hawthorn could take an 8-point lead, potentially into half-time. As off the ball, Selwood and Franklin get in a tangle. Selwood comes to the bench, and Hawthorn fans will probably give him the rounds of the kitchen. No silence from them. More interested in Luke Bruce having a shot on goal. This for an 8-point Hawthorn advantage. He started at left, and that's where it will stay. Missed opportunity again. Bruce, with his first scoring opportunity of the night, kicks it behind. Hawthorn 7-7-49, Geelong 7-4-46 in the shadows of half-time.
Yeah, he's going to hear the siren in about 20 seconds. Luke Brewston going to go, damn it, missed opportunity as Mackie kicks a long one outside 50. Buddy's been paid the mark after shoving Lonigan in the back. Umpire said that's all fair in love, war and football. Buddy too far out to score, or is he? He's 70 out. He kicks a long bomb all the way to the square. It won't go the distance, but Roughhead's going to mark. And with 3 seconds left on the clock, surely Geelong should have done better than that. He's not going to be able to run round because the siren has now sounded. So that's a little advantage to the Cats. It's a tight sort of angle, and the angle all important here. So no need for anyone to stand laterally because he cannot run around here, Roughhead. He's on A tight angle. He's probably 4 metres in from the boundary line, but he's only 10 metres out from goal. He kicks a drop punt and he puts it across the face of goal. So in the last 25 seconds of the half, Hawthorn have missed 2 golden opportunities and the lead only stands at 4 points. So Geelong can go in and regroup. And at half-time, the scoreboard 7-8-50 Hawthorn, Geelong 7-4-46. As Geelong, Stevie Johnson done the damage, kicking 3 goals, and Jack Gunston a couple for the Hawks. We'll take a break, catch our breath, and come back. Can you believe we've got a half of this to come? Everyone's spoiled. Footy at this time of the year. Live, breathe, K-Rock footy.
That was absolutely fantastic having Habir from Footify FM join us. Of course, he'll call the AFL Grand Final in Punjabi as part of the Footify FM set up by NAB. So fantastic. 10 languages, and Punjabi, which is a major dialect in India, will be well heard, I would think, in his home province back there in, of course, the subcontinent. Nearly second half, but back in the box, Mark Neal, Tim McGrath, to tell us why Hawthorn lead by 4 points at half-time, and will they still lead when we get to the end of the game?
Well, the first one, Kingy, why do they lead by 4 points? Well, did we expect anything else, Bluey? Coming to the MCG tonight, it's a final. It's Geelong versus Hawthorn. Did we think that at quarter time it would be under a goal and then under a goal again at half-time? Well, yes, so probably because of history, Kingy, and just talking to a couple of people off air, then we found it interesting, in particular Hawthorn. They just seem to make some errors against Geelong that they don't against any other team going around, but it's clearly not a curse, but it's just some things get in your mind. But they were brave enough in that quarter, I thought, Bluey, to actually change a little bit. They went one-on-one defensively for a little while, which is something Hawthorn don't do. But offensively, they started getting the ball in deep to their forward line, trying to put the Geelong defenders under maximum pressure. And normally they chip the ball around, and we saw the Hawks get 3 goals out the back against the run of play. The Cats had all the play in the first bit, and then Hawthorn got some ball against the run of play.
Yeah, you're right, Neildy, and I was going to chime in there and say, well, they got a result. I mean, the roughhead one kicked deep into the forward line late in that quarter. He missed the goal, but that style, you're right, has changed. And sorry, Benny.
I was going to say the last 15 minutes of that quarter, the inside 50s were 11-1 in favour of Hawthorn.
12 games Geelong and Hawthorn have played, I think Hawthorn have been in front 7 or 8 out of those 12. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Third quarter for Subway. Here's Anthony Mifflin on K-Rock Football.
Vardy. No, it's Max Bailey. We were not talking Punjabi now because it's down to the wire for this one. It's 4 points the difference as Sewell gets the ball inside 50 for the Hawks to kickstart your second half on K-Rock. And Gunston, he taps it out towards the boundary line. They defended well there, the Cats, after just letting it over the back a few times in that first half, but with a boundary throw-in.
Yes, well done, Mitho. I was just going to say, it would have been brought up at half-time. 3 of those goals were defensively over the back. Can't do it.
Vardy, good, down defensive side. Here's Stokes getting it up to Mackie. He's been good. Here's Stevie J. He held on to it for a long time. He put his fellow defenders under pressure, but Guthrie was up to
well
it.
Done.
Well, he got round 3 of them in the end, and then spirals one down towards the wing. Foot race there, Motlop. He kicks the ball in. I thought it was going to trickle over the boundary line. Tackle without it. Well done, Varco arrived in time to give it to Kelly. Yeah, not sure about that, although Varco good enough to tap it forward towards Duncan. He just couldn't find the handle. Mitchell slipped over at inopportune time. Scrappy sort of football, hard sort of football, final sort of football as Hodge at the back gets it to Birchall. Chip round the corner. This might be spot on. All over the top. Mackie a little crude, and Puopolo to take the free kick.
The umpire's letting a little bit go, but not that one. That was clear cut that Mackie had infringed on Puopolo. He'll go very, very short and very, very low to Birchall. Barely went 15. He marks it at the interchange gates. We'll get some Wombat Gully Plant Farm matchups in a moment from Mark Neald and Tim McGrath. See if anything's changed matchup-wise as Birchall kicks to half forward, looking for a mark. Getting around at the footy, Bailey, but at the front of the pack, Stokes will pick up the footy. Pushed off, it was Murdoch by Roughhead too easily. Kicked to the top of the square. Selwood back with the flight, can't mark. Rioli left it behind. Oh, Guthrie spun beautifully out of trouble. Jammed it on the boot to the middle. Wants Hawkins in front of Gibson. Ball to the back of the pack. Burgoyne will be first there. Christensen shuts him down. Can't stick the tackle. He gave the handball off to Burgoyne. Burgoyne to Guerra. Guerra back of the square to Bailey, and maybe the Cats missed an opportunity. Bailey will share it back with Guerra, who gives it now to Stratton, or rather Shields. Shields now to Guerra. Guerra chips one over the top, and Franklin juggles the mark and takes it on the near side logo.
He's done well, though. He's corralled him, Lonergan, and that's another one up the ground that he can get it all day up there, and he's wasted the kick. It's gone over the pack and bounced over the boundary line. We're going to throw in inside 50, Benny.
Inside 50's 33-19 now. They're edging to nearly double the Hawks.
So Hawthorn in front of the inside 50s, but only in front by 4 points on the board, as from the boundary throw-in, the ball is a log jam, and they sit over the top, and the umpire's going to have to ball it up.
Kenny, in terms of those matchups you asked for, pretty much status quo at the moment, and also Hawthorn just persisting with the extra one behind the ball, boy.
Ball up, forward 50 for the Hawks. Duncan at the drop, jams it on the boot straight away, but it goes up the chimney, and it's been marked by Burgoyne. And that was
nearly silly.
Yeah. Who was it? Murdoch, was it? Or
Nah, Motlop.
Motlop, as he kicks long now to the top of the square, and Hale again. Gee, they just cannot counter the height down there. They should be able to. I'll ask Bluey McGrath, because that's why we pay him the big bucks for Momentum Energy. What went wrong there?
Yeah, well, he got a mismatch. He had Christensen as his direct opponent, which, how that happened is anyone's guess, but obviously Harry Taylor was on Roughhead, had him covered. Lake was down there with Mackie, so Hale was the odd one out. Need to be more communication there, I think.
So top of the square, Hale, who's missed one, kicked one, comes in and makes the umpire work a little, but he's banged it home, got two. So David Hale, unlikely little hero up front for the Hawks at the moment, joins Gunston on 2, and Hawthorn skip out to a 10-point lead. Hawthorn 8-8-56, Geelong 7-4-46. Subway third quarter action. We've played 4 minutes.
Anthony, that goal was actually a direct result again from Hawthorn's extra defender. The ball quickly came out and it was marked by Burgoyne. It was that free kick that Motlop nearly gave away. What happened, Motlop needed to be at that with that player prior to that ball being kicked. It was always going to be a scrappy kick coming out because of all the congestion there. Ball goes back in it and you get the mismatch. Just I suppose it's just not quite thinking his way through that before the ball got there, Stephen Motlop.
It's one of those young, inexperienced mistakes.
Bailey won the tap down as Blitzars went too early. Puopolo fighting his way through, got a handball somehow. That was interesting from Bailey to Mitchell. Mitchell quick kick forward. Mackie and Shields. Down low Hunt. Good pick up. Rivers. Handball off. Christensen. Corey into trouble. Just reefed it forward by hand. Sula, don't argue on Mackie. Spun out of trouble. Gave it to Mitchell at left half forward now. Gunston will take it on about the third bounce. Will now straighten himself up. Look for a leading option and down low. Diving. Can't mark Bruce. Picked up at the back of the pack. Rivers. Kick to half back. Looking for Varco. Can't mark. Went through hands. Selwood. Johnson. What's he going to do as Selwood dumped off the footy? Kick to the wing, asking a lot of the J-Pod, who can't mark. Through his hands. At the back, Birchall. Slung in the tackle. Gave it to Bailey. To Hodge. To Mitchell. Worked it out well by hand. To Birchall, who reefed it over the top. To Puopolo. Puopolo down to Hill. Hill tries to shrug off Corey. Slung in the tackle. Great tackle by the veteran. Gets a throw. And Corey, with the free kick at half-back, needed to hold that one up, Mytho.
They did. They're just putting fingers in the dike everywhere, Neildy, it seems to me.
Yeah, it's very much like the start of the game, Anthony. Hawthorn really forcing the ball forward, and for the majority of the short quarter so far, kept it in their half.
So Joel Corey off half-back goes down the middle, and Bartel will take the mark. It was a one-on-one that he had to sit over Puopolo. He gets to Jordan. Jordan, an indiscriminate handball forward. He got one high as he got rid of it. Mackie gathers and takes advantage. Rule. He goes to the top of the square. Vardy! No, off the ground. Off the ground, and Tomahawk says it came off my shoelaces, but Hodge claims the rush behind, and we're not going to the videotape. Gee, Vardy had a fair piece of it.
You got a mark, man.
What happened on the goal line then? How was it forced through? I'd love to see it on replay, but we don't get it as we get a .47.56, 9 points in favour of Hawthorn.
Hawks have worked it to the wing. Puopolo on the half volley, taking in a Corey tackle, but it was high. And at half back, he'll take the free kick. He'll concede back to Mitchell, who's between the edge of the square and 50. Goes into the middle of the MCG for Gibson, who loops one over the top to Hodge, who had to wait. Kelly dragged him to ground. He wanted 50. Now Kelly makes sure Hodge can't fire off the quick handball. And Hodge will now look at about 30 players in his eyesight. He plays on as Mitchell provides a shepherd on the mark, kicks it through the arms of Stokes. Not a great kick as Josh Hunt read it best off the boot. Got in front of Franklin and took the mark. It's what Josh Hunt does with it now that's important. He brings it towards it, or he wanted to bring it to our broadcast side. Now just chips a little ball over the top to Taylor. Went about 14.5 metres. Taylor held up. He can go to the near side logo and Duncan will mark. He's got Motlop and Guthrie both outside of him, but decides to ignore both. Guthrie working the position, but nothing doing short. So from the Melbourne logo, he kicks inside forward 50, wanting Vardy or Hawkins. Fist from Gibson from the back, and it'll land with Mitchell. Mitchell wrapped up in a great Motlop tackle. Surely that is holding the ball umpire. It's not paid. He indicated he handballed, I think Miffo wants to say. Yeah. Vardy couldn't pick it up cleanly. Ball socket forward by the Hawks. Picked up by Taylor. Well done, Rioli. Great pressure. Roughhead couldn't pick it up. Here now is Murdoch to give it to Hunt, but he missed him. Mitchell diving in low. Hunt diving in low as well. Mackie in there fighting for the footy. Was it Rivers might have taken one high? He did. Jared Rivers with the free kick in the middle.
Rivers goes back right in the centre circle of the MCG. Kelly free. Forward and wide. He kicks that way. Almost creeping towards the front point of the square. James Kelly wheels around on that right foot and sends it long inside forward 50, but Lake got a run at it and took a mark. And Hawthorn's defensive structures inside their defensive 50 holding up, but that was a poor kick. Stokes chipped in, took the mark, sends it out wide. Stevie J's going to mark. And from 30 metres out directly in front, a goal against the flow here for the Cats.
Just interesting, Mitho, interesting to hear what you think, Neildy, with Nathan Vardy. Like, I don't know whether he's got a basketball background or not, but he doesn't extend and use his height. He jumps off 2 feet far too often.
Stevie J to come in and kick his 4th goal of the game. Has he squeezed it in? He has. He's happy. Goal umpire had something to think about. 2 fingers up, 2 flags, and Cats within 3 points. It seems like Hawthorn have controlled this game for the best part of half an hour. Maybe that momentum swing. Mark Neal told us about it before the game, that it will ebb and flow and the momentum will change, and just maybe, this is Geelong's window to put a little break on the Hawks. 9.5 minutes gone, the third term for Subway. The scoreboard reads 8-8-56 Hawthorn, Geelong 8-5-53. Stevie J's got 4.
Yeah, quite right, Anthony. Geelong on that occasion taking their opportunity. Blue, just back to Vardy for a minute. The previous contest was against Luke Hodge, a really accomplished player, but you're quite right. Vardy, the jumping off one leg, being able to extend high, the ball should be completely out of Luke Hodge's range.
Yep. Vardy the tap down. Johnson will do the roving after it deflected off the shin of Kelly. Snaps a kick towards the outer half-forward flank. Bouncing ball. Christensen, he wanted to be a little bit cute with Corey. Birchall didn't want to pick up the footy. Mitchell palmed it to Rioli, who slipped. Handball back to Gibson. Quick hands, smart hands to Birchall. Birchall through the outstretched arms of Blitzarves on the half volley picked up by Smith. Gave it to Franklin, who now gave it to Birchall. Birchall will want to share it in the middle with Hale. Kelly will close him down, but he got it back to Birchall. Good running. And then the kick was nice for Puopolo. 65 from goal in the corridor. Birchall kept running. Nobody wanted to go with him. He's now got the footy, and then he's chipped it nicely, and down low, diving in. Bruce takes the mark. 45 out from goal. Not much of an angle.
That all started with James Podsiadly, who refused to push up and pick up Gibson, his direct opponent, waiting for maybe Christian to get the easy one and kick it long to the square. You need to push up and make it at least one-on-one.
Yeah, definitely, Blue, because the ball has gone the entire length of the ground without a Geelong player getting near it, and now we have young Bruce having a shot for goal.
Bruce kicked 2 goals in the opening round clash between the two sides. One behind tonight, and going for distance has pulled the kick and pulled it badly. Just snuck it in for a behind to make the margin 4. So Luke Bruce with 2 behinds. Hawthorn 8-9-57, Geelong 8-5-53. 11 minutes gone in this third quarter, thanks to Subway.
Total Tools North Geelong King. Some real concerns for Brett Guerrero down in the rooms at the moment with a left shoulder injury.
Gee, well, that is big news because provides so much drive off half-back. Maybe that's a little opening that Geelong can expose as Guthrie goes to Murdoch and a couple of youngsters combine. Out of the back pocket, Murdoch sends it long down the member's wing. Lonergan went up, couldn't take the mark. Bailey at the back, gathers off hands and then delivers nicely for Bruce. Well, just lucks of fortune on that occasion. Just a hack ball inside 50. Johnny on the spot, Luke Bruce, and he'll go back and kick it from right on the 50 numerals and try and sail one home after missing a moment or two ago. Nearly 12 minutes gone. 53 plays 57. 4-point ball game. Guerra off with what Bucky is describing for Total Tools as a shoulder injury. Bruce wheels around. This time he's found the radar. This time no problems. Margin out to 10 points. Hawthorn's way. So that momentum change didn't last long enough for Cat fans. They need to get it back again. 9-9-63 to Geelong. 8-5-53. Subway eat fresh scoreboard.
Just sometimes the bigger players of Geelong, like Lonergan there, who was in front with that long kick out, sometimes when you're not in great marking form, maybe when you're in front you need to spoil one over the back, because the players all gravitate to that long kick to try and spoil it forward. If you're not in great marking, Nick, you probably just need to move it on. Yeah, just try something different.
Yeah, not a bad call, Blue, because if you hadn't got it flush, it might have also gone over the boundary line, but it just went back into a nest of hawks.
Brett Guerrero's back, boys. That left shoulder heavily strapped, so they're going to give it a go.
Keep an eye on that one. Thank you, Bucky. Total Tools. Blitzarves and Bailey. Bailey stood there and palmed it down to Mitchell, who just tried to flick it up to Puopolo. And Mitchell will get a free kick for being held by Kelly.
I think, Bucky, it might be caddy time too downstairs.
As inside 50, Mitchell goes, went through Rioli, but it got to the back for Lewis, ducked the head. Some sort of tunnel ball action back to Rioli, trying to fight over the top of the footy. Motlop, Corey to help out. Mackie off a step, bangs it on the boot, wants to get it outside 50, he won't. Johnson being held surely. Kelly will pick up the crumbs to the J-Pod, needs to hit a target. Not a great kick, asks a bit out there of Selwood in a wrestle there with Stratton, got away, arched the back, got the runner in Varco. Amble over the top for Vardy. Needs to straighten things up. Wants to get back onto his right. Saw Bartel. Then stretches high and marks 40 out. Almost directly in front.
Green vest off. The caddy just about to come on, boys.
Who do you reckon?
Well, Taylor's coming from the ground now. It won't be him, so it'll be interesting to see who it is.
Boys, just then, Nathan
James
Vardy.
Kelly could be.
He's down. No, the red vest looks as though it's gone on someone down there. Josh Hunt, I reckon.
Yeah, no, you're correct. Josh Hunt has got the red vest on, boys. Caddy just about to come onto the ground now.
Thank you, Heath Buck, for Total Tools. Jimmy Bartel likes a big moment, and this is a big moment to bring the margin back to 4. Halfway through the third quarter, the 3 from 45. Did you expect anything less?
Oh, dear.
Did you expect anything less from the great man? In game 249, Jimmy Bartell kicks goal 164 of his career, and the margin is back to 4. 9-9-63, plays 9-5-59. Tim McGrath from Momentum Energy.
It was much better from Vardy, who didn't try and be a millionaire and go around and snap it on his left foot and try and send it. He actually thought his way through it, come back, and that may be just, that's the Geelong way. They expect people, no matter who they are, centre the ball up. And Jimmy Bartell is one of those blokes who's got a beautiful kicking action, kicks it low and straight. We're talking about Gunston, doesn't try and over-kick it.
A terrific play by the old and the young Bluey.
Caddy in the middle for the Cats. White cross the sub for the Hawks. He is still to be injected.
Yeah, they'd be wondering about Guira at the moment and wanting to test him before they pull the trigger on their sub as Lewis. He got a little handball away, but taken by Stevie J. He handballs straight to Mitchell, and Mitchell sends the Hawks inside forward 50. It was defended by Mackie down to ground level. Hale tries to do the roving work. He got one in the back. So Rivers over the top, and he argues his point. It's not going to count. As he asked the umpire to have a look at the replay, I've never seen him do it. As he dived over the football, Hale, and that's in the back.
Yeah, maybe it is Anthony in the slow-mo replay.
That's penalised because he pinned his arm, really. Hale had no option but to fall forward.
And Hale, the set shot from 30 metres out.
He's got a history against the Cats, David Hale, Metho, to date, and at, I think it was Skilled Stadium back in the day. The North.
It's not one of those heads you want to smash.
Had a bit more hair back then from memory, Bucky. As Hale lobs one in from 30, he leans on the kick and he hits the post.
Just in this third quarter, Mytho, on the Bunnings stat sheet, as the margin extends to 5. Birchall and Mitchell about 18 possessions between them. Geelong need to stem the flow there.
How many bullets can the Cats dodge? There's been very makeable shots missed as Mackie with the kicking duties will send it towards half-back looking for Bartell, who got around Birchall and marked and gave it off by hand to Motlop, who can give it with a little kick to Murdoch. Maybe a little bit too cute, but it got to where it wanted to go. Now Caddy the sub. Caddy with a low ball to Hawkins. 52 from goal. Joel Corey streaming inside 50. Either way, he's gone his Selwood and he's hit him. Oh, he had two choices. One was Corey, one was Selwood. Joel Corey still waving his arms like he's at a rock concert.
Brendan White.
He is called to play on Selwood and he squeezed it in! And the Cats are back in front. Wow. Where did that come from?
He went to play on and square the kick up, Kingy, as you turn to look at Bluey, and he just stepped off his mark enough for the umpire to say, yeah, you played on, and he thought against the kick. Umpire called play on. He was under enormous pressure and he went back and just stabbed at the kick and squeezed it home.
Yeah, look, great skill by the skipper. Caddy off the bench or out of the sub-vest straight into the middle of the ground. Instant dividends. Geez, a bit of a bull. He got that great handball from Murdoch and he just get out of him away and lowered the eyes, hit up Hawkins and be finishing a goal. But good to see Caddy on the ground, straight into the middle. We know he's got that big frame, but he's also got the fresh legs.
Tighter towards North Geelong. White crosses onto the ground. Max Bailey has been subbed off for the Hawks.
He thought he'd been okay too, as Hale's got to do all the ruck work now. They won't get him up front as much in this quarter and a half left. Oh, Stokes has been run through. Nearly caught it. Bang, ball spilled. Guthrie gathers. 2 bounces. Runs to 50 and will kick. The Dennis Barrier.
Oh, yeah.
Goal a day. Cats by 7 points. There's your goal. It's on behind play. Stokes is down. It's all happening at the MCG. The kind of phrase from Bill Laurie. But stuff the cricket. This is the best game in the world. Geelong 11-5-71. Hawthorn 9-10-64. Subway, eat fresh scoreboard.
With big concerns, Hale, they've just subbed Max Bailey off. Hale is coming from the ground, has hurt his ankle. So massive news here for the Hawks. They're down without a ruckman at the moment.
Stokes is up for total tools, shrugging things off.
Yeah.
Benny Cass.
It was a good hit and shoulder by Birchall. I don't think he left the ground. He got him flush. He did hit him in the head, but he didn't leave the ground.
If you hit him in the head, that's not good.
It's not if you play for Sydney. Ted Richards hit Levi Casbolt there last week.
Oh, surely not.
What about Cam Guthrie's poise and
fantastic
composure when it was all happening around him? There were players going down. It was a war scene.
It wasn't.
And he just continued on. Dashed through the middle, 2 bounces, goal from 50.
Geelong forwards off the ball did a great job too in blocking their opponents from actually getting in that corridor.
Stokes is okay too. He's up and about.
And Roughhead's gone into the ruck to try and do something about both Hawthorn and Ruckman being on the bench, one subbed out. So bit of an opportunity here for the Cats.
Gibson will get the footy now after Mitchell kicked it into the head of Roughhead. Had to go back and find it. Handball up. Went looking for Franklin. Rioli was in there. Cats have got numbers. Here's the skipper to Mackie. Was a hot footy. He's reaped the handball to Duncan. Had to climb high to get it. Great tackle, Sewell. Chicken wing. Ball spills. Shields out wide. Gibson will have it on his left. And then a low ball inside 50. Asks a bit of Gunston. Gunston managed to keep it in with a deft touch. And then Mackie spun out of play. Boundary throw in. Will Birchall have something to worry about, Tim McGrath?
I'm not worried about that now, but just as Joel Selwood comes from the ground, the last 5 minutes, the skipper's really asserted his authority on 3 or 4 contests.
Barty, the tap down, White crossed the handball. Lewis snaps the ball to the top of the square. Well played, Lonigan palmed it to Duncan. Got to get a kick on the footy. Outside of the right boot, rolls it into the left back pocket. Birchall will be first there. Will want his left. Was too slow, but got it to Rioli. Shrugged the tackle. Shield, wonderful smother blitz arms. Gave it to Kelly by hand. Kelly swung it wide. Mackie has got to wait for it. Lewis the tackle. Mackie got a little kick forward. Gibson outside 50 by hand to Mitchell. They're queuing up, and one of them is Burgoyne. But what a wonderful smother by Blitzarves.
It was terrific finals footy and just kept at it and at it and at it. And unfortunately, Hawthorn with the extra number behind the ball had managed to repel. But great individual work that the Hawks have managed to turn it over again. And now we've got Burgoyne having a shot for goal.
Total tools, North Geelong boys. David Hale looks to be okay. We'll come back onto the ground.
Thank you, Heath Buck. Sean Burgoyne, the premiership player with the power back in 04. Played 157 games. He kicked 171 goals in the black, white and teal. Has turned himself into a halfback here at the Hawks, but this, one of the more crucial kicks of his career. He didn't hit it well at all, but it's a goal. If you kick through it and kick straight, doesn't matter how well you hit it, you'll kick a goal, and he's kicked his second. And the margin is back to 1. Geelong 11-5-71. Hawthorn 10-10-70. 21 minutes gone, third quarter Subway scoreboard.
Funny stat sheet. It's a two-man show for the Hawks. Birchall and Mitchell. Not sure who's playing on them. Nobody wearing blue and white hoops. They've had 23 touches between them in this third quarter. 7 contested, 3 inside 50s. They continue to set up goals. Geelong just refused to man them up.
We talk about Burgoyne's great kick for goal then, but that kick from Mitchell under that extreme pressure to spot him up 17 metres away was absolutely outstanding.
So ball back in the middle. Whitecross lost the compass. He'd gone forward. He could have been the loose man in attack, but they weren't playing Russian roulette with the takeaway from the middle. Mitchell won at the end, went to half forward. It was taken by Gunston, went through Puopolo, back to Sewell. Now Buddy, the big sail, and then has his kick smothered, Stevie J style. Ball spills loose, but to Hawthorn's advantage. Puopolo and Sewell. Sewell gets it over the top to Gunston. Gunston's kick, hurried kick, inside 50. Cyril! Up as high as a kite, takes the mark. He's played on! He's played on! The umpire has said that he played on. He actually dropped the mark. That's why he played on. Duncan goes through the middle. On the turnaround, Taddy's taken a ripper. At the other end, he gives to Modlock. This is fast and furious stuff. On to Pontiadley. Pontiadley outside of the boot misses. Hawthorn fans going bereft. Can't believe that the umpire called play on. Rioli only played on because he didn't think the mark was paid.
Yep.
And confusion reigned. Did he mark it?
Well, technically, yes, because the umpire paid it.
Late the kick in, Vardy, the mark over the top has been paid. And that will make Hawthorn fans more alright because Joel Selwood's actually claiming it. And probably had first purchase, but Vardy, the bigger man, came down with it. He goes wide, wanting Varco. Got the body from Bruce. Ball hit the deck. Varco, the pick-up. Oh, wonderful hands. Motlop for the goal! Oh, Travis Varco! Sleight of hand. Umpire, does he want a review? Not the back of the post, surely. They're consulting. Let's have a look. Let's see if we get a signal from the umpire for the score review. He's turned around. He's asked for a score review. What is the hand signal? He said goal.
Umpire thinks it's a goal. So
we're waiting for just confirmation of that. Surely it hasn't hit the back of the post. Mytho, what can you say?
It's very inconclusive. I wouldn't like to call it off that, Kingy.
Another one that's inconclusive.
Bugger me.
Oh, geez.
Ball doesn't seem to deviate. It doesn't lose its trajectory. And I reckon Motlop's kicked the Dennis Family Homes goal of the day. Can't tell from that angle, umpire. Just give it the all clear and stick your flags in the air, for God's sake.
We're just waiting. What a wonderful handball from Travis Barco, though.
What a kick from Motlop.
Yes, he has. Caddy's been fantastic.
We are
Still isn't in the contest, Caddy.
Umpire is
Very
still
good
being
Caddy.
consulted. Umpire Nichols. And all clear. A goal for the Cats. The margin is 8. Steve Motlop with something special on preliminary final night to get his second. After a sleight of hand from Trav Barco, he goes over to his good Indigenous mate, gives him a high five and says, "Thank you, mate. You set me up for an absolute cracker." And the Cats now jump back to an 8-point advantage. They're 12-6 to 10-10.
Josh Caddy, just coming from the ground, he's been mighty since he's come on as a sub, just coming off for a rest.
That's the difference between Varco the last couple of years. I mean, forget the injury. Just his ability to stay in the game for longer. Early days, he used to drift in and out for 30 and 40 minutes. But I reckon that 2011 Grand Final, he realised then he could actually play at this level.
Ball back in the middle, and Vardy over the top of Hale, who's sore, got that ankle strapped up as Rioli went to ground, missed the footy. Selwood didn't. Tried to get it up to old mate Kelly. He knocked it out into the path of Selwood. He can't find the handle, but they've worked it inside 50. Just want a lucky little free kick here if we can, as Lake crashes his way through. He gives to Mitchell, then back to Lake. Lake off the side of the boot, gets it to Hale, and they're now scrubbing it forward here, Hawthorn. Tackled high, no free kick. They're crashing over the top. The ball's in the middle of the MCG, and we're going to get a ball up.
Cats
We're
have
gonna get a
sensed
ball
him,
up, I think.
They're all over Hawthorn here physically, and the pressure is really upped in the last 2 minutes, I reckon, Neildy.
You wanted a ball up, Mytho, just to catch the breath.
Oh, look, you're right, Lou. It's stepped up a notch. The contested ball is absolutely everywhere. This is a great contest now.
Vardy, the palm down. Puopolo wanted to go off the ground, but Shields did. All through the legs of Mackie. He dived back on the foot. He did very well. Got to his feet like a cat, like a good cat, and then kicked to half forward, and Motlop on a dive. Can't mark. Sock it off the ground by Whitecross. Time to pick it up and share it with Mitchell. He got the tackle from Stokes, but briefed a handball out the back to Hodge. He kicked off a step to the wing, looking for Hale, and he marked on the chest. Lonergan couldn't get the fist in there. So Hale just back of the wing. Shares it now with Smith, who brings a kick towards the near side wing for Guerra, who down on his bootlaces takes the mark. Turns onto his left. He's got a runner, but he won't get it to him. Bartel will step in and mark. The Cats, he's got numbers forward. He's got Johnson laterally. He's got runners in the middle. One of them Duncan, but he comes back to Selwood, who marks near the Melbourne logo on the near side.
Duncan was running through all sorts of space up the midfield there, but he's got Guthrie now laterally, goes to him. Just want to possess the footy here, Neildy. Is that the go?
Yeah, they do. Hawthorn have got all their numbers behind the ball, Mytho, so they'll try and get it as close as they can to that 50 before they go long inside.
And look up and see 27 minutes gone on the clock as well, so maybe just that tempo, slow it down as Varco tries to toe poke it inside forward 50 and go after it again, but Lakey stood up again, gathered, gave it to Burgoyne, who snapped it over the boundary line, and Geelong to take the free kick just forward of the wing. Caddy been monstrous since being subbed into the game. Josh Hunt out of the game. He goes to Duncan, and Duncan too far out to score. He's a kick and a half away. He bombs it to the pocket. Big mark required. Hawthorn with numbers. They go up with fists everywhere. At the drop of the ball, over on the full again in the tackle. Off the boot of Whitecross. So he's been the other sub injected, and Caddy, Geelong sub, from 60 out. Could he drain one?
It'd have to be Bernie Quinlan.
He kicks to Stevie J, who has the ball fisted away from him, and over the boundary line we're going to throw in 45 round from Geelong's goal.
Sometimes as good as Stevie J is, players are going to go to him, so that's the time you don't kick it to him. Pressure the square.
Hale and blitz serves. Hale the tap down. Kelly couldn't take it cleanly. Puopolo just got it 8 metres forward off the boot. Stokes stuck to tackle and then kicked it back inside forward 50. Wants a Podsiadly fly at the footy. Big fist from behind Hodge. Motlop at the front of the pack. Released a handball to Taylor. He's on his left side. He can snap the goal. Harry! He's kicked the goal! The All-Australian centre-half back has snuck forward and kicked the goal. And the Cats are out by 14 in the shadows of three-quarter time. Harry Taylor, Geelong 13-6, Hawthorn 10-10. 29 minutes almost gone, third quarter Subway scoreboard.
Bluey, you said about pressuring the square. The long kick in towards the end of the quarter. Big contest from Podsiadly and Hawkins. Outstanding from Motlop. He's hit the front of that pack. He's grabbed the ball, didn't fumble, handball over to Taylor. Terrific snap, but great team goal. Everyone just played their role and did it really well.
It's similar to what Hawthorn did just before half-time. They pressured, they kicked that long ball in, pressured the Cats' defence, and they took a couple of marks and got some goals, or the one over the back. That's what you got to do late in quarters.
Blitzarves up into the ruck. He tries to get it down to Caddy. He has been sensational in this third term. He fires one out towards Mitch Duncan in some space on the outer side wing. He wants to get it back to Caddy. No, he goes further afield to Joel Corey, releasing him to space. He grubs the kick forward. Had some pressure from behind. Great pick up from Tomahawk. He gave it to Murdoch. Murdoch went the toe poke. Back towards Hawkins. Toe poke by Caddy. Out towards Christensen. Christensen gets up. He kicks to the top of the square. It gets to the top of the square, bouncing, bobbling ball, free ball, contested ball, off the boot of Shields. It's got over on the full. It'll be a free kick to Rivers.
Get out of it, Rivers. Give it to Motlop.
It'll be a free kick.
Motlop's gone and taken the ball.
It'll be a free kick to Geelong, and Rivers can't run away fast enough, and it will be... Oh, it's a Hawthorn free
it looks
kick.
like it came off Rivers' boot.
Yeah, it did too. Gee,
decision.
Off to the naked eye, look, for all intents and purposes, maybe we're going to throw it in now, are we? We're going to throw it in. Umpires can't decide. And it would have been a Hawthorn free kick. Should have been a Hawthorn free kick. But they haven't gone to the video tape that time. Boundary throw in forward pocket for the Cats. 17 seconds.
Not long left. Ball with Murdoch. Once his left goes with his right. Snaps on goal! Jordan Murdoch! Something out of nothing as the Cats skip to a game-high 20-point lead with three-quarter time about to ring in our ears. Howling mad Jordan Murdoch back into the side. Geelong 14-6-90, Hawthorn 10-10-70. Approaching 31 minutes, third quarter, Subway scoreboard. Hawthorn's defensive setup letting them down, Tim McGrath.
Well, and the exciting part about that was the inexperienced Mark Blitzarves against Hale. He just worked his way to the front and he extended his arm up and played tall and just brought it to the front. Then it was sort of fumbly and Murdoch swooped on it, but
he
two
did a great
younger
job.
Players.
Really, really good. But I think Hawthorn will be flat. Rivers kicked that out in the full and they couldn't make their mind up and they threw it in. The ball shouldn't have been there, Blue.
Ball back in the middle. Hale just fists it forward. Only seconds left. Geelong have just got to hold them back here. And they do hold back the tide as Hawthorn were coming late in that third quarter. Changes. The umpire holds the ball off. Tom King to kick us off. 14-6-90 to Hawthorn 10-10-70. 30 minutes. Hold on to your hats.
Strap on your helmet.
Thanks to Harvey Norman. Hale wins the tap, but Caddy will do the roving. Hands on the footy to Christensen, to Bartel all by hand. And now Selwood, and they'll run. And he'll go low, but he'll miss the target. But Birchall wanted to go the volley out of midair. Ball got to the back. Sewell to help him out. Lake fell over as he picked up the footy. He fell to ground and got it up to Gibson. Gibson gave it up to Hodge, trying to burst through. He's wrapped up in a tackle. Umpire says, give it to me, I'll ball it up.
Dare I say this, but...
Well, don't say it. Just relax.
Does first goal win here?
Well, no, we're not playing at primary school.
If Geelong kick it, 26 points.
Josh Caddy pinged for holding the footy as he was taken in a nice tackle by Burgoyne. And he was chicken-winged. He tried to throw it onto his boot, but was unsuccessful as he was slung. We'll get some Wombat Gully Plant Farm matchups in a moment, see if anything has changed structurally for either side, but it'll be Burgoyne with the footy at the back edge of the centre square.
Burgoyne, unsure what to do next. And he calls for something to happen, and instead he just pulls the trigger on the sideways kick to Lake. Lake, well, goes to Shields, dangerous. Joel Corey was shutting him down, good enough to stand up and take the mark. Then a handball forward. That's a little dangerous as well to Smith, who's tackled and kicks it out of bounds on the full. Yes, just over the chalk line.
Mitho, that's that defensive pressure between the Arcs and the Cats that caused that. Interesting decision to handball in there, but just great defensive pressure, and they win the ball back.
So Motlop took the free kick, but in the end it was Duncan told to take it. No one stands the mark, so he just lopes away and then kicks off the wing up towards forward 50. Title on the boundary line. Gibson got down and fisted it, but Bundy was laying in wait. Bundy kicks it out on the full. So holding his hands in the air was Harry Taylor, like he really did care. He should have squared it up and gone to him perhaps. As the free kick will go the way of the Hawks, and it's Whitecross who gets it to the middle, and then Birchall out wide.
To Shields, who kicks now to half forward. Looking down there for a mark from Bruce. Well played, Mackie, to bring it to ground and be first to the footy, and happy to just shepherd it out of play for a boundary throw-in.
Has he made a mistake tonight, Andrew Mackie?
Not as yet.
Remember.
Again, a really solid display. Even then, Anthony, just to stop Bruce to run at the ball, get it over the boundary line, get the troops in, start again.
Hodge will do the ruck at the front of the pack. Taps it down to Puopolo, shrugs off Corey, got a handball off to Sewell as he fell to the ground, sends it inside 50. Franklin and Lonigan one-on-one. Well played, Lonigan off the back of his fist. Rolling ball, Bruce. Oh, well played, Bruce. Well played, Bruce, to tap it into the path of Franklin, who socketed it through for a goal. Cats want maybe it hit the post, but there'll be none of that from the umpires. And there'll be a goal to Hawthorn to cut it back to 14. Franklin with just his first of the night as he socketed it through. Geelong 14-6-90, Hawthorn 11-10-76.
Well, King, as good as that contest was from Lonigan, the ball got behind. Another one of those ones that went into space, and well, we might be clutching at straws, but it was a great contest. But the ball went goal side for Hawthorn, which allowed Bruce, who did a fantastic team involvement there, and tapped it in to Buddy, who lucky goal off the ground.
Score
but
review.
There is a score review.
There is. Just been called for in the middle of the ground.
Okay. Well, the Geelong players down on the goal line did throw their heads back, suggesting that it may have clipped the post.
Must be something in that if they go to a score review, Mitho.
Absolutely, because the Hawks were adamant, and the goal umpire thought about it. And why isn't there a camera angle right on the goal line?
And the way the players are moving now, Hawthorn are setting themselves up just in case.
It looks like it hit the post.
Goal. Goal all clear. So there's a bit of anticlimactic theatre in all of that.
There is, but the same thing, the technology's there to avoid any clangers, and it's there, use it. If someone up there in whoever's coaching the umpires thought that it hit the post, well, check. That's what you got the dollars for, use it. We want the correct result, not one that's been on the back of an absolute clanger.
Bounce down, Bledsoe. He gets it straight down to Caddy, who has a go in the air and gets good contact. He kicks it 25 metres up towards half forward. At the back, though, Stratton to Hodge. Hodge kick round the corner. They're loose on the wing. Loose on the members' wing. And it's Gunston who went to Mitchell. Mitchell had a bounce and fumbled. Gives it back to Gunston now. Gunston in some space, got some time. Goes to Cyril. Cyril leaps high, can't mark. Ball gets to the back again. Again it gets to the back, and Brewster's there to absolutely kick a soda. Laces out for Shields directly in front.
That's going to kill him, that. This will be, well, he hasn't kicked it yet, but this could be 5 goals.
The Geelong player down at centre.
Yeah, Guthrie it is.
Half their score could be direct result of ball defensively going over the back.
Might be a bit in that, boys. Guthrie may have been hit behind the play. He's actually pointing at a Hawthorn player there.
He's pointing at Roughhead, and Roughhead shaking his head as if to say, get on with it, mate. But not happy at all, Cam Guthrie, as Shields comes in. He puts it on the boot and he's sprayed it wide. Another lead off for the Cats. Gee, if Hawthorn had found the radar, it would be a lot closer than just the 13-point margin we've got at the moment. 11-11-77 to Geelong, 14-6-90. The margin 13 points in favour of the Cats on the Harvey Norman final quarter scoreboard.
Bartel brings it to the MCC members looking for Lonigan or Taylor. Front of the pack, Johnson to Motlop. He just bangs it on the boot because he sold Joel Corey, and Corey is marked. He can take it, turn, go, and kick for Hawkins, and he marks 52 from goal. Working hard, Caddy inside 50, Vardy as well. He now is forced to go back, kick over his mark. He opens up the angle. He sends it to the goal square. He wants Vardy or Podsiadly to fly, but a good fist from Lake. And it's taken by Gibson, who gave it now to Birchall, to Mitchell. On his non-preferred left, kicks long for space. Wants Franklin to run onto it. Off his boot, made out in the full. It is. It is. And Tom Lonigan has said, yep, out in the full. Boundary umpire agreed with him, and as a result, the Cats with the free kick on the wing.
He'll go short to Selwood, the captain, who just come in off the interchange gates. He kicks now inside 50 to the pocket. Tomahawk in the one-on-one, had the jumper pulled. Umpire elected to ignore that. Lewis just stepped straight over the line. Umpire says throw it in. So Hawks just dancing and flirting with danger, but able to get away with it. The boundary throw-in inside forward 50 for the Cats. It's a shallow throw-in. They run at it, and Caddy's going to muscle his way onto the contest here. Got a couple to beat. Did well. Bowled a couple over. Stratton handballed indiscriminately. Stevie J, dancing around everyone. Dancing with the stars in the pocket. He couldn't pull the trigger on the kick. Stratton comes away with it. He's tackled hard, dispossessed. Soccer style. A good strike there by Sam Mitchell. And he got it 40 metres up the ground and over the boundary line. Good play from him, and we get a boundary throw in 60 round from Geelong's goal.
If he can do that with an oval ball, what will he do with a round one?
Boys, they just showed the incident of Guthrie and Roughhead on behind the goals vision. There was 4 players there. They go to run. Roughhead does block him a long way from the ball.
Kelly, a little volley inside 50. Stratton on hands and knees, handballed it into the shins of Caddy, who picked up the footy, spun out of trouble, outside of the right boot for the Dennis family homes. Goal of the night.
Oh, my.
Josh Caddy. What a pickup for the Cats he's turned out to be. And may have kicked a very crucial goal in the scheme of season 2013. Geelong 15-6-96. Hawthorn 11-11-77. 8 minutes gone, final quarter. Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Couldn't have scripted a better game from a sub. He's had 10 possessions. He's kicked that goal. He's had a hand in a couple others. To have 10 possessions, a little over 20 minutes of footy. Chris Scott couldn't have scripted it better from his sub.
I know you're playing to win and you're playing for your team and you're playing for a spot in the grand final, but he's playing for his spot in the grand final. When he was handed the sub vest, he would have been thinking, I'm player 22. Paul Chapman's got to come in back into this side. I'm going to play the lights out here as the ball's back in the middle and the ruck contest is on. Diving on the footy was Joel Corey. He's going to be called. He dived on the footy. He didn't get rid of it and they shut him down. And he's slow to get up, but Burgoyne with the ball back at the centre. He'll send Hawthorn forward. 19 points is the margin in favour of the Cats. He tumbles one forward and a couple of Geelong players spoil each other, but Mackey, he was cool in the crisis and the second bite of the cherry was a good bite and he took the mark. He delivers it to Stevie J, who thinks about some tricky stuff. Not inside defensive, 50 Stevie. Nearly 9 minutes gone on the clock. He lays it out for Harry Taylor to run onto and takes the mark.
What a great kick.
Wasn't it? Just to the advantage of Taylor. Caddy's got to play, doesn't he, if Geelong are able to hold on in the next 20 minutes.
This first.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding this evening, Anthony, no doubt.
Jeez, that's a terrible kick.
Shocking kick from Harry Taylor and marked by Lake, who's a little proppy after marking it uncontested. Not sure what happened. Handball back to Birchall. Goes to Stratton. Stratton through the corridor. They've got to come up the corridor and take some risk now. Hawthorn tackled hard. Stokes doing the tackling. Second effort was good, but Sam Mitchell, he slipped the tackle. He used those strong hips of his. Wiggled them hard and got out of it. And then sends the ball out to Guerra. Guerra in some space. Going to be shut down by Varco. Just a little chip around the corner from Roughhead. Back to Guerra. Guerra down the line. Whitecross the marking target. Podsiadly's spoil. Whitecross too strong.
Marks in front of the players' race. Southern stand side. The Cats by 19. Approaching 10 minutes gone. Final quarter. Whitecross called to play on. Kicks high now. Asking for Franklin to fly. Fist from Duncan sends it 8 rows back into the AFL members and we'll get a boundary throw in.
Actually, Mitch Duncan tonight's done a couple of really good things. That spoiled defensively, and when he went back with courage, not his thing, but he's really got to bring that into his game. Great job.
Roughhead the ruck work, palmed it down for Mitchell, hands and knees, wants to fire a handball up and does so to Smith. Tried to duck under the Guthrie tackle and gave a handball to Sewell, whose kick was smothered by the skipper. Selwood just doing the little things. Sees it out of play, boundary throw in. And the Cats' desperation acts, Mark Neal. There's been a lot of smothers, that Mitch Duncan into the line of the ball, etc., that have been good tonight.
Yeah, they're defending really, really well at the moment, Kingy, no doubt.
And another smother there is the kick from Shields. Has landed in the lap of Selwood, who gave it to Varco. Varco kicked to half forward, not great, asks a bit of Motlop. Guerra picked up the spinning ball, turned onto his left and then kicked beautifully for Lewis. Wanted to share it by hand, but instead says, I'll kick it inside 50. I want a mark and I'll get one, but not from a hawk. It was a wonderful mark by Matty Stokes in front of Isaac Smith. Little man.
Stood up tall there, Bluey.
He did. Fantastic effort
Going back with the flight. Only eyes for the football. That's what finals footy will produce. He goes down the line and gets it into the safe hands of Tom Lonigan. So Lonigan out on the outer side flank. Cat fans biting their nails. It's an odd year. He went up high, couldn't take the mark. Ball spills. He gathered there by the captain, who's been enormous this last 5 minutes. He gave it to Guthrie. Guthrie's kick smothered. It goes back the other way. Caddy though there. So too. Well done, Rivers. Got it to Caddy. Caddy can't. He just fumbled it in the awkward stages. Got it to Guthrie. Now to Motlop. 1-2. One handball too many. Kelly stripped of the football. Coming away with it is Hill. Hill kicks up towards half forward and going back. Rivers. Free kick off the ball
against Duncan.
Jeez, he's no good defensively. When he's got to be down there.
Gives to Smith. And Isaac Smith with the ball. For the Hawks, too far out to score. There's players queuing up, Ringa-Rosie. It's Lewis with the ball on the outer side. He's too far out to score. They're going to have to pull the trigger and pump it inside 50. They do now. And Lonigan, no, Rivers it is. This time, he won't be robbed of it. He's taken a mark at the top of his defensive goal square.
Been fantastic tonight, the former Demon. He'll send it towards the southern stand side. You give a bloke a rap, and look what he does. He puts it out of bounds on the full, 52 out from goal. Should have kept my mouth shut. And it'll be Franklin with the free kick in a pocket that what doesn't suit most left footers, but Lance Franklin doesn't mind. But if he wants his arc, he's going to end up in about row C.
Well, that'll be out of bounds if he does.
So the umpire now, I think, just taking him through the process of what his arc is going to be. A photographer's being told to just decamp from the scene to give Buddy that arc room, but he will be kicking this if he does go with that arc from basically next to the fence. Franklin, from the tightest of angles, will kick from 53. He sits it up. He fades it back. It'll contest on the line, and Blitzarves and Vardy are happy to see it through for a rush behind and make the margin, Anthony Mithen, an even 3 goals. Hawthorn 11-12-78, Geelong 15-6-96.
Billy Brownless just in a box, couple of boxes down, is biting his nose. Actually, the nails are gone. He's down to his elbow.
Yes. As Bartel sends a long one out to the members' side. Ball gets to the back. Birchall there. Gives it to Stratton. Stratton to Mitchell. Mitchell dodges around Vardy and then kicks under pressure. Inside forward 50. Bartel sets himself for the mark. He was bumped off. Kelly at the drop. Gives to Christensen. Christensen, dashes away out of trouble. Did well and got up to Bartel. Bartel a fumble. He's got to just slam it on the boot. It falls for Hill. Hill will kick it back over his head. Hill will kick the goal for the Hawks. And he's got a couple. And he drags the margin back to just 12 points. 12-12-84 to Geelong 15-6-96. Geelong by a neat 2 goals on the Harvey Norman scoreboard after leading by 20 points at three-quarter time. We've played 14 minutes and it might be strap on your helmet time, Benny Casanilla.
Yeah, no doubt this final term it's been 8 inside 50s to 5 in favour of Hawthorn. They've also had 20 more possessions. They've had 7 more contested possessions. They're just on top in general play. Geelong appear just to be sort of holding fort. They've got to continue to attack the Cats.
Brendan Wright crosses down in the ruins, boy, with a looks like a knee injury. Hope it's not his bad one.
Back in the middle, Blitzarves and Hale. Hale might have won that one, but Blitzarves are right. He was taken high, umpire, surely. And now he'll bail him out and give him a free kick because he missed the first one.
That was a late whistle.
I think he got him the second time. He did miss the first one. Blitzarves, off a step, just sends it inside forward 50. Wants somebody for a run. Podsy Adley can't mark. Johnson at the front. Tripped as he went to kick. Then tried to feed a handball out. Guerra with a soccer kick at the right time. Smith the pickup. Wants to get back onto his left. He gets a handball instead over the top. Asks a bit of Rioli. Duncan to keep him in check. But Rioli had it knocked away from him by his teammate. Shields. But Shields has had it palmed back into his path. Handball up to Hill. Hill can go over the top to Bruce. The bounce is important. Varco to look to shut him down. Well done, Varco. Lying on the ground, smothered the kick and saw it out of bounds for a boundary throw in. 15 and a half minutes gone, final quarter. This has stepped up a notch, Anthony Mithen.
Geelong have to kick a goal. To win this game, they're going to need to kick a goal. At the very least. 12 points, I don't reckon will be enough with Hawthorn charging at them late. Bruce over the top of the football, gives to Sewell, Kelly. Yeah, like 2 bulls locking horns underneath the football, or over the top of the football, and the umpire's going to ball it up. Inside forward 50 for the Hawks. Geelong with just the 1 goal in this last quarter after piling it on in the third. Ball goes over the boundary line. They kick 7 goals in the third term in a half hour of power. And in 15-16 minutes, they've only got 1 in this final quarter.
Hawks down to 2 on the bench, Mitho.
Okay. So Sewell went without the football, allowed Selwa to look at it, gave to Caddy, wrapped up in a tackle, dragged down in the tackle. They sit over the top. Umpire said he didn't have prior. So just those names out. Please, Bucky, downstairs.
Yeah, Whitecross has just re-emerged. He's limping as he comes up to the bench. I don't know if he's going to take any more place in this game.
Cyril Rioli from the stoppage. He gathered the footy and snaps. He misses. Lucky let off. He had space. He had the ball in hands and clear air in front of him. A lucky let off for the Cats there. Back to a 9-point ball game.
Kick in towards the outer half-back flank. Stokes with the footy. Taylor knocked it along to Mackie. Taylor. Johnson just reefed a handball forward 15 metres trying to get it to Murdoch. Bit of the fumbles, boundary throw in.
Someone's ball watching over there. Yuki knew it was.
17 minutes gone, final quarter. Vardy and Hale. Hale just palms it down to the front. Comes out towards Corey. Tried to get it to Selwood. He overran the footage. Selwood comes again. Tackled by Sewell. Got one high. Did he? He did. He'll take the free kick. So Selwood with the free kick. And half-back. Right half-back with the footy. Selwood. Plenty of options short, and one of them is Caddy, and he had to stretch to mark.
Geez, Geelong have actually got to continue to attack here. They can't hold the ball up for 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Ben, what the Hawks have done, they've done it only once before tonight, just for a period of time. They've just gone one-on-one defensively. They're trying to force Geelong into the long kick down the line, which is what they've done.
And he's put it out the full mark, Neil. At left half back, the Hawks with the footy through Gibson. Called to play on now, Gibson, and Podsiadly runs at him. He does manage to get a handball over to Guerra, but he's in tight confines. Kicks to the wing, going back with the flight. Bruce Caddy brought it to the front. Johnson there to help him out and just put a handball into space. Stokes picks up the bouncing ball, turns, kicks, and looks for Podsiadly, but late. Read the flight of the ball better as Podsiadly tried to body him, and he'll set it up from half back.
Late. He wants a lateral ball to Guerra. Guerra in the back pocket. He can go all the way back to Isaac Smith. He will. So at the top of his defensive goal square, Isaac Smith, as Hodges free on this member's wing, and he elects to go the other way. He goes short to Guerra. Too short, said the umpire. So Guerra's got to just turn and slam it on the boot. Stokes will run at it and got crunched in the back. And Christensen sees the light of day and says, no, I don't want advantage here. Let's just possess the ball for a moment or two. 11 points is the margin. 85 plays 96 in favour of the Cats. Geelong, 19 minutes on the time clock. Harvey Norman scoreboard. He goes long. Stokes inside forward 50. The big men fly, no mark. At the drop of the ball, Podsiadly, did he go unhigh? Did Stevie J get the jumper tug? No, says the umpire. Throw it in, please.
Oh, geez, he did too.
Just sense a Stevie J moment as we've got 85,569 in the house. Well, see, that surprises me. I didn't think it'd get quite that high as over the back, Isaac Smith lay in wait, but they set upon him and will get a ball up on forward 50. It's tight stuff here, Bluey.
Just interesting, Neil. Just Cats defenders got to watch that. Don't get opened up with a fast break here.
Yeah, they do. They follow their men right up. There goes the ball over the back. We'll see the foot race now.
It is a foot race. Mitchell put it into space. Rioli first there. Well done by Lonergan to dive on the boot, but Rioli was able to soccer it into his own path and then to send a kick over the defence, looking for Burgoyne. Well done, Mackie, to hold him up. Burgoyne to ground. Handball off. Snap on goal. Gunston, margin back to 5 points. We are set for an absolute thrilling finish as Jack Gunston kicks his fourth of the evening. Geelong 15-6-96, Hawthorn 13-13-91, 20 minutes gone, final quarter. Harvey Norman scoreboard, K-Rock football.
Nostradamus McGrath in the back row here. Bluey, you saw it coming.
Oh, you could just see that they just gravitated towards the forward end, and the only concern was, deep in defence whether Hawthorn could get it out. And there's always, Mackie and Harry Taylor running back towards goals. It's not ideal for a defender.
No, it's not. It's one of the few occasions too, Blue. We called it earlier when Hawthorn had gone one-on-one in their defensive system, which is unusual. The Geelong actually held the same thing. They did not have that extra player back as the goalkeeper, which they're used to. But full credit to Hawthorn. They played that really well. Mitchell saw what was going on. He popped the ball out there, and the Little Hawks won the foot race.
Just maybe this is a good thing for Geelong because they've now got to win the game. 5 points is the margin, and they've got to get on their bike and start playing the positive footy that they played in that third term. Piopolo, the free kick, though. He gets it at the stoppage, backwards of the centre circle, wants to play on, take Vardy on. He kicks now, up to true centre half forward. Big men go, and Harry Taylor spikes it to the front. Didn't get to the back that time, but Lewis was waiting, and he delivers round the corner. It's been marked by Bruce. This to give Hawthorn the lead back.
Well, surely, boys, we knew there was another twist in this game. It is the Geelong-Hawthorn final.
Bruce with the ball in his hands. He's 40 metres out. He's not on much of an angle. He has kicked one goal for the game. He missed one earlier. He's normally a dead-eye dig, and he's hooked the kick. Well, you wouldn't have read about that. There was no one on the goal line either. Such was the confidence that he would just nail it to the post. He nearly didn't make the distance. A point. The result, 4 points the margin in favour of the Cats. 22 minutes gone. Harvey Norman scoreboard. 6 minutes left on the clock.
Bartel to the members' side, looking for Rivers. Ball to the back. Franklin the shepherd for Mitchell. He went off the deck. Low ball. Gunston couldn't mark Guthrie. Played it well. Quick handball off to Mackie. Tried to get it to Rivers, but Bruce was there. Dumped in a Rivers tackle. Ball spills. Lewis. Gunston. Burgoyne. Open goal. Beckons for the lead. And Sean Burgoyne rather has kicked his third. And they lead by 2. Hawthorn 14-98. Geelong 15-6-96. 22 and a half minutes gone. Final quarter. Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Boys, just in that last couple of minutes or the last couple of contests, the ability of the Hawthorn players to win them at the moment, they're taking the most of their opportunities. But again, if you look at the stat sheet, Ben, just talk us through the disposals and all those stats really this quarter.
Yeah, they've had 30 more possessions, Hawthorn. It's 13 inside 50s to 7. They've also had more clearances. They're winning the contested possession. Sam Mitchell has had 35 touches, 10 clearances, 8 inside 50s, 12 contested possession, and no Geelong player is interested in going near him.
Yeah, a reasonable evening, Ben. You would have thought he's played in a number of different positions at the moment. He's in the middle of the ground, matched up with Stevie J.
Blitzarves and Hale go at it. Blitzarves up high. He missed Stevie J, and guess who? That man Mitchell, who gets one high. He handballs backwards to Lewis. Lewis inside forward. 50, Buddy. No, Buddy couldn't mark it. Good work there by Lonigan. Hawthorn still with a chance. Rioli, some tricky stuff off the ground. He couldn't get it out into space. Geelong get numbers back. They try and chalk it up. Oh, Cyril off the ground. He went off the ground with the toe poke, and he scored, pushing the margin out to 3 points. 99 plays, 96. 23 minutes gone. Down the middle goes Jimmy Bartell.
With the barrel of his miss hit, but it somehow bounced to Taylor. Taylor into the middle, under a cat there. Blitzarves and Hale. Hale just pushed him off the footy like he wasn't there. Well done, Caddy, to hold things up. Corey was shoved in the back. Umpire said play on. It's locked up. We'll get a ball up almost in the middle of the MCG.
They look out on their feet there, the Cats. They should have made the most of that through the middle.
Too slow, Harry Taylor. He just had to get the handball out. No need to kick.
Blitzarves and Hale. Third man up was Lewis. Tried to do his own roving. Corey over the footy. Bruce gave it to Smith. Smith, quick kick forward, looking for a mark and rough head there. Good fist Taylor, but Sewell's the man to pick up the crumbs. Handball off, hands and knees. Gunston got it out to Smith. Smith off by hand. Here's Burgoyne again. He goes to the side to Hill with a little kick. Hill with an open goal square. Can he bend it back? No, he can't. It will stay left. It'll be a behind, and the margin will be 4. Brad Hill with 2 goals, 1. Hawthorn hit the 100, 14-16, 100, Geelong 15-6-96.
Usually first to 100 wins as the short kick goes to Stokes, has his kick smothered as he went to play on. Handball off, gets it to Duncan, crisis over. He'll kick down the line, looking for Pozzielli, went on the chest, should have got the Dukes out. He handballs off the ground now, tries to get up to a teammate, they're fumbling and bumbling around with it. And Hawthorn, they just swoop there, calculated. Mitchell over the top, Mitchell tackled hard, ball spills, Corey tagged, and then he handballs back to Stokes, who just hacks it off the ground. Ball spills for Sewell. Sewell out wide for Gunston. And Gunston will take the mark and settle the ship. Gunston, onwards they go. Geelong just all out of sorts. They've lost their mojo. The short kick goes to Hodge. 4 points is the margin, but it seems like so much more. He kicks to the hot spot, but Duncan gets back and has a cool head. Takes the mark. Plays on, goes up the middle. They see 25 minutes on the clock.
That's terrible.
Stratton marks. There's still 3.5 minutes left. Someone's got to get the message out. There's plenty of time for Geelong to kick a goal. Up the middle he went, and Stratton takes the mark.
Goes laterally to the wing to Birchall, and then wide again to Hodge, the skipper. With the footy between wing and half forward, Southern stand side with 26 minutes gone. Leading up is Hill, unmarked. Hands it off to Birchall. Birchall gets to 55, gives it everything he's got. They'll contest at the top of the square, but going back, Mitch Duncan with a wonderful mark.
Third time in the last 4 minutes, I reckon.
Can they set something up from defensive 50?
Oh, no.
Duncan off a step to centre half back, needs a mark. Oh, what a wonderful mark, Stratton. On the third bite, flying over the top of the pack, has marked and goes back with the intent that he wants to kick a goal.
Boy, it's just interesting. The Cats have actually changed in the last few minutes the style of play that actually had them 20 points.
Stratton, a handball off to Guerra. Guerra off a step, sends it to the top of the goal square. Big fly in the square. No mark taken. Down there, Mackie. They might want to rush it behind here. The Cats. Taylor does so. Margin 5.
They're not a side that normally goes a long bomb down the middle. They're more precise with their ball movement. They like to handball. That's the way they're going to have to do it here.
There's 2 minutes left on the clock. Stevie J in the pocket. Handball's off to Selwood. No safer hands to have it in. Up the middle he goes and finds Christensen, who handballs off to Kelly. Kelly gets on with it quickly. Open forward line. Jimmy Bartell. Not his moment just now because Gibson beat him in the one-on-one contest and the ball comes back the other way. Two Hawks collide. Ball spills. They've still got the numbers back there. Handball forward. Blitzarves tries to get it up for Mackie. Blitzarves dives over the top of the football. He's going to have to get it out of there. He's going to be pinged. The ball did spill out in the end. But Mitchell there, he gets a handball out to Birchall. Birchall going to be run down. Just gets his kick away. Goes wide. Is it too wide? No, it's off hands. And over the boundary line. Throw in with 1.5 minutes left on the clock. The players look up the scoreboard and see that Hawthorn lead by 5 points. 27 3/4 minutes gone. Harvey Norman scoreboard.
Hale and Blitzarves. Hale at the front. Roving Kelly got a quick kick forward, but it landed with Mitchell. Mitchell didn't want to kick. He gave a handball out wide to Sewell, who ran into trouble. Handball back, bouncing ball. Mitchell on it. Selwood over him. Caddy over the top. It spills out the back. Sewell's there again to pick it up. Blitzarves couldn't lay the tackle. Puopolo wanted to take on Taylor. Did so successfully. Into the pocket. Shot on goal. Gunston outside of the right boot. Across the face. No mark. Ball on the line. Through for a behind. Maybe the best the Cats can hope for is a draw and extra time.
He chip kick out to Duncan. Duncan to Stevie J. Stevie J's going to get run down. He's got to pull the trigger on the kick. He does so. Motlop, will he take the mark? He will in the middle of the MCG. He played on foolishly. He's tackled without the football. There's going to be a free there somewhere. Hawkins got up. Gave it to Selwood. Selwood to go back to Stevie J. 45 seconds on the clock. Stevie J kicks inside 50. It's an open forward line. Vargo's there in space. Vargo can kick the goal. Missed. He missed it. Vargo, an open goal from 30 metres out, has missed. And the margin is back to 5 points. There's 31 seconds left on the clock. Geelong have got to go man on man and win the ball back.
Burgoyne short to Hodge, and Luke Hodge will take as long as possible with this mark. Geelong have got to be man on man, one-on-one football. They need to get the ball back. They can't win it without it.
18 seconds.
The kick to the wing. Podgiadley can't mark. Hale is there. It might be just about done for the Cats. Shields with the footy will straighten things up. He'll kick to the wing. It's over for Geelong. Hawthorn are going to play in the grand final. Puopolo shares it with Hodge. Hodge sends it inside forward 50, and the mark is taken by Rioli. And the siren is about to sound. It has. They haven't heard it out on the ground, I don't think. There's no mark. It was play on, so it's a 5-point win for Hawthorn. They're into a grand final. The Cats season is done. The Hawks get a chance at redemption in 2013. 14-8, 18-102. Geelong 15-7, 97. Geelong players distraught. They slump to the ground. Hawthorn celebrate. And the song plays around the MCG. It won't be a case of the odd years being the wonder years for the Cats. They will exit at preliminary final, and Hawthorn will advance to next week's AFL Grand Final, where they will meet either Fremantle or Sydney. They trailed by 20 points at three-quarter time and have kicked 4 in the last quarter to the Cats 1. They did trail by 19 points at the 8-minute mark, but came home with the last 3 goals of the game to take a 5-point win.
We're a happy team at Hawthorn. We're the mighty fighting Hawks. We love our club and we play to win. Riding the bus with a grin at Hawthorn. Come what may, you'll find us striving. Teamwork is the thing that talks. One for all and all for one, the way we play at Hawthorn.
Another MCG thriller between the Cats and the Hawks, but unfortunately, Geelong not on the right side of the ledger this time. Their 11-game winning streak over Hawthorn is now over. The Hawks get a chance to create their own history as Alistair Clarkson makes his way out onto the ground to embrace his players. Geelong players have barely moved from where they are. Tim McGrath and Mark Neal from Momentum Energy. We're a bit flat up here in the K-Rock box. Bluey's got the headset off, just composing himself. Neildy, we'll get you to give your initial thoughts.
Yeah, sure. Look, an outstanding game of footy. Perhaps this is the one that needed to happen in 7 days' time, but it wasn't. That's the way it goes. Look, outstanding contest by all players involved. Look, Hawthorn have run out victors by 5 points. But I suppose if you look at the game statistically, and one of the modern stats, Kingy, you talk about how often the ball is in your half of the ground. You're talking about a side that have won by 5 points. Actually, they had 22 more inside 50s, I think, Ben, you called it just before the end of the game. So in terms of having the ball in your scoring area, having the ball in your hands, the Hawks dominated, but full credit to the Cats for the manner in which they took their opportunities. They defended really well. We heard Barmy speak prior to the game about what the focuses were, and you know they did it really well. And at the end of the day, you lose by 5 points, you feel terrible, but every single player for Geelong can certainly hold their head high, and as can the supporters on behalf of their players. It was just a really, really good contest. They're up against a side that's finished on top of the ladder, hardly lost all season, and they've come within 5 points of what would have been really, I suppose, not really a miraculous victory against a side where you've won 11 out of 12, but it's probably a bit unusual that the side that finishes on top of the ladder doesn't end up in the grand final. But a great game, and look, I suppose the Geelong supporters will feel a little bit down in the dumps, Kingy, but that's footy.
Yeah, can't change it.
Chad Varco, an absolute distraught figure out there at the moment. He had that opportunity with 30 seconds left on the clock. No pressure, 30 metres out. I mean, when you say no
pressure, Anthony.
Yeah, well, no.
85,000 people as a goal behind a preliminary final.
Let me rephrase that. No one in his direct space and time and space to kick the goal, but enormous pressure really in front of 85,000 to square it up and send us to extra time, which would have been perhaps a fitting finale. May the best team win in extra time, but it's almost the only missing thing between these two great sides over the last 5 or 6 years is an extra time finish. They've produced gem after gem and drama after drama, and unfortunately it was the Cats' turn after a long time to be on the receiving end. 5 years, in fact, to be on the receiving end of one.
It is, Anthony, and also, even after that many victories or losses, whatever side of the ledger you've been on, it's still only separated by 5 points. It's amazing how well these sides match up, their game styles match against one another, and we get these epic games time after time after time. But unfortunately, in a knockout final, there's only one team left. Hawthorn have got the extra day's break on either Freo or Sydney. Watch both games there. Whoever wins that game, it will be an outstanding grand final next week, Bluey. The AFL will be proud of that. Whether it be a Hawthorn Freo or Hawthorn Sydney, we're in for another great game of footy in, 8 days' time.
Yep, no doubt about that.